Yo, what's up, comic compadres, and welcome back to the Hood Rap Podcast. And when the Rat Pack is back, man, this is our bi-weekly show. I know you guys missed us, man. I know you missed us, Rewind. I know you're like, I miss Dan. Where's that cute guy? Who that? And where's that hot guy, hot job, comic book crackhead, man? So we're back. We're back here, man. And how you guys doing, man? How's the last 2 weeks been for y'all?
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah,
Busy,
really,
busy.
yeah, really busy.
It's always busy for who that, man. I be turning on the YouTube, bro, and it's like always YouTube. I see him on Instagram, and I see him on whatnot, bro. Who that's a busy man. He's a busy man, bro.
I'm definitely that's not me. That's me. That's my twin.
Don't kid us. Who that? You're one of those hardest working men in comic books.
Yeah.
It's like Multiplicity. Remember that back in the '90s, bro?
Yes.
Yeah.
With his Keaton or whatever his name
Michael
is, bro.
Keaton, yeah.
Michael Keaton, man, he had to make 8 of them, bro, or 9 or 10, and that's who that, bro. It's always 9 or 10 of them, man. You know, like where did I was like, why did I just see him? Why did I just see who that just on YouTube? Now I'm seeing him on Instagram. Then I seen him on whatnot, all at the same time.
Got like multiple.
I did that one time.
Oh man, we got Azores in the house. What's up? How's it going, Eric, bro?
Hey, Azores.
We got Kevin in the house too. Entropy, man. What's going on? And we got this guy, man. Who's this? This guy, bro. This guy. You know what, man? I want to bring this guy in, man. This guy has one of the best comic YouTube shows in the world. I gotta say, man. I mean, for real, bro. Like, I mean, I watch his shows all the time. I really enjoy his Trending 5. I really think it's really insightful, and he always has a really good take on spec and what's going on in Hollywood, man. You know, like he's just a great person to have in the community. And we shared the stage, man. We shared the stage at one of the panels at San Diego Comic Con. That's my man, Mickey. What's up, Swag?
What's going on? What's going on, Ian? Thanks so much for having me on the show. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to join this panel, the show that I'm a fan of. So I'm really happy to be here tonight. So thank you for inviting me.
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. We appreciate you coming on. But just because you're a star, bro, it doesn't make you immune to this.
Oh God.
So Mickey, man,
drinking some water.
Welcome to the hot seat. Welcome to the hot seat, bro. All right, man. I'm gonna start it off, man. I don't try to burn you like these other guys right here. They bring the heat,
God.
man. They bring the questions. So I'm gonna ask you, man. I know you're a big Darkhawk fan. Yeah, you're a big Darkhawk fan.
Yeah.
If Darkhawk was ever to come to the MCU, who would you like him to play, or who would you like to play him?
Oh, okay. I think I have a good answer for this.
Okay.
So, in my opinion, I think of Chris Powell, who is like the name of the character who is Darkhawk. He's kind of like a Peter Parker, except in his high school persona, he's a little more. He's a little cooler. He's a little more angsty, but like in a cool kind of, I'm a cool angsty teenager kind of way. So to me, it's like, we got to find a Tom Holland, but like with a little more edge. So my perfect fan casting would be someone like Timothy Chalamet to be Chris Powell Darkhawk, like edgy Peter Parker.
Yeah. Nice. I like it, man. I can see it, bro. I can see it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good answer, bro. You didn't get burned there. You actually that was actually a hot answer.
I spent a lot of time thinking about my dream of seeing Darkhawk come to the MCU.
Wow.
I know, bro.
Wow.
Man, every time I watch your show, I'm like, he said Darkhawk, bro. It's like you bring Darkhawk into your shows all the time. It's perfect. It's like the Easter eggs. You gotta do it. It's awesome, man. And who that, man? What you got, bro? What's your question?
I got a quick. It's a 2-question because I have to ask the second question first. Is that a Emmy in the back?
It is an Emmy. It's an Emmy behind.
Okay.
It. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and yes, Chad, I know what an Emmy looks like. My question is, what inspired you to start doing a YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I kind of started my channel like maybe a lot of people who started their channels, which was really like during lockdown and during COVID and stuff. That's when I sort of started mine. And when a lot of the industries were shutting down, I live out in Los Angeles and I work in film, and film in particular was an industry that like completely went radio silence for quite a while. So I kind of found myself with a lot of free time and not knowing really what to do. And I'd always been interested in doing YouTube in some kind of way, just for fun. And for a while I thought, oh, maybe I'll make like a filmmaking type of YouTube channel. But at the time of during COVID, I was just watching so many other comic book YouTubes, and I was just like, this sounds way more fun to do something like in this hobby that I really enjoy. So I just, one day decided to turn on the camera and talk about comic books. And then it basically just never stopped after that. So that was kind of how it all started. And really it was just a way to kind of talk about, the hobby and connect with people. And that was really what it was all about for me.
Yeah, you do awesome work at it, bro. There's one time where I saw you were doing, this is way back, it's like a year ago, year and a half, and you were behind a window. There's a window, like there was a street behind you. Where was that, bro? Because I was like, that's not LA.
No, yeah, I was like on the road, and I was in Vancouver, like working, and so I just kind of brought my mobile laptop, and I was like, the show must go on. Got to film from Vancouver. So that was my spot for a little while.
Yeah, that was dope, man. I was like, oh man, I need to get a background like that, bro. It looked super like Matrixy, like a Matrix thing,
Yeah, yeah. It had a nice little view in downtown.
Hey, if we have a question from the live chat, man, that's Dan, man. Dan's over here at my.
I was going to ask this question.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, Mickey. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What did I get the Emmy for? So, look, it's not the coolest thing ever, but it is an Emmy. Okay. But yeah, like I said, I write and I direct, and I directed a Nickelodeon thing, and I ended up winning an Emmy for this like campaign that I directed for Nickelodeon. So, not one of the awards that you win like on stage in black tie, where they bring you out on stage and I give a speech. Nothing even close to that. But an off-air award that I got for a Nickelodeon thing.
Bro, but that's a resume winner, bro. You put
that
in a resume. I want a freaking Emmy, bro.
Yeah, you can't take it away from me. You can't take it away.
Yeah, bro. You can't take that away.
You can't say I didn't do it.
I would think you're probably the only person on YouTube who's doing comics that has the Emmy.
Yeah. Someone has asked me, like, have you won an Emmy for your YouTube? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Not even close.
No, wait a minute. You
Not
can't
yet.
say the Emmy Award winning Swaggle Hoss show? That would work.
Well, Mickey, Finnegan is my last name. So Mickey Finnegan is the Emmy Award winning. I don't know if Swaggle Hoss, the persona, like, I don't know if he earned it yet. I don't know.
From the Emmy winning.
There's got to be a way to integrate this. So
yeah, I mean, how obnoxious would that be? It's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of embarrassing because I just like, I'm in my office. Like, this is like my office where I work and stuff. And so it just sits there. Like, that's where it was. And like, you go all the way back to when I started filming, I just hit the record button and it just looks this way. And it was just there. And I didn't even think, like, I didn't mean it to be like a flex. You know what I mean? Like, it was just in the background. And then people started asking about it. And so now it's like, now I kind of have to leave it there, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan says, did you sleep with the Emmy the first night you won it, man?
If I had a game like that, I feel like I should have absolutely won the Emmy, But I did make a joke to my wife that I was like going to sleep with it, so I didn't quite do it. I don't think she would have let me.
That's like your baby you put in between. You're like, don't roll over on the baby.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Efren's in the house, man. What's up, Efren? Pass my Tio, man. And Matt's in the house too. What's up, Matt? And Michelle Waffles in the house. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome.
Hey, what's going on?
All right, man. Mr. Dan De La Torre, man. What's your question?
I love baseball, but I love most sports, but baseball in particular. Now, Oakland's my hometown. You were from the Bay Area originally. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Okay. You're in the LA area now. Is your allegiance now going to the LA sports teams, or you still have an affection for the Bay Area teams?
Not at all. I am like 100%. Like, I'm from San Mateo County area. So my teams are like the Giants, 49ers, Warriors, of course, and like the Sharks and stuff. And I root for all four of those teams. And, I'm not a Dodger fan, definitely not a Rams fan. So,
do you have to keep that on the down low since you live down there?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
sure.
all right. Thought so.
I have to get yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's not like not like anything's gonna happen, but like, when I went to like the Rams 49er game last year, one of the regular season games, and I was really apprehensive to wear my Niner shirt, but I ended up doing it. I just did it. Yeah.
You got to represent, bro. You have to represent.
Yeah. You got to represent.
Bro.
It's all in good fun.
And I live in San Diego, but I'm not. I won't be the guy that wears an A's hat to a San Diego Padre game. I'm like, bro, we don't even play. We're like totally different leagues. You know?
Yeah.
So
it's definitely the thing where it's like, you just know that like if you lose, you got to have that walk of shame.
I know.
That's the hard part. It's like you're just gonna get hazed while you.
And it's a long walk from your seat to the car. Trust me,
it's a long walk. Yeah.
But it's like a lose-lose situation too, especially a Giants fan at Dodger Stadium. Like if you win, you're a jerk. If you lose, you're a jerk.
Yeah, totally.
It's just, yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you, bro. I'm a Bay Area cat too. We always talk about that. And John, man, how about you, bro? What's your question, man?
So I also have two questions. First is, what was your first comic book? I asked the last person that came on the same question. And the second question, what are you collecting right now? I see that you have a lot of great comics behind you. Mm-hmm. And every show that I watch that you're on, you do a great job. One of the nicest people, by the way. Yep. You are. Every time I meet you and we see each other, you're just so gracious.
Oh,
so what's the genre or comic that you're collecting currently?
Yeah. Well, the first question, I don't know if this is like 100% the first comic I have, but if I've been asked this question, this is my answer that I gave. I think it's Amazing Spider-Man 353. So it was like right around like 91. And I went into the comic store for the first time and looked to the Spider-Man section. That was when like Mark Bagley was doing all the writing. And there's a particular comic that it's like a Spider-Man, Darkhawk is on it. And,
yep,
of course.
And Punisher, I think, it was like this whole series where they like had like Moon Knight and Night Thrasher and Punisher and Darkhawk, and they all teamed up. But that was like how I kind of got into Darkhawk, was like seeing the character on the Spider, because everyone knows Spider-Man when you go in. Like I don't know how you know Spider-Man, but like when you're born, you just know who Spider-Man is. So that was like the first kind of comic I got. And then now like I mostly like Silver Age stuff generally, and I'm doing like my Grail run, which is like Avengers, just like 1 through 100, and I'm pretty close. Like I got about 19 more books left of 1 through 100. So that's sort of my collecting goal right now. Okay. But I got all like the big keys checked off. So now it's mostly run filler. And the goal for myself is like, I have to buy it in person, and, it's more of like a game. It's not so much like hit buy it now on eBay.
It's pretty dope too, man, because I think I've been watching your show for like 2 years, man. And I've seen your collection grow, I seen you check off the big grails, and I saw your wall just get like epic, after week after week. Yep. And but you actually buy comic books too, man. It's not like you just, like you just don't say, oh, buy this comic book's really, on sale. Like you should buy it. Like you actually buy the damn book that you find the good deals on and recommend to us, man. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's kind of the best way to do it, where it's just, talk about the philosophy or why I'm buying books, and just share, like, oh, I bought it because of this such and such reason. And maybe, because it's like the whole like weird thing of like, here's some spec books. I can make a video where I talk about like, oh, here's some spec books to get. And then there's kind of like a weird gray area of like, well, is it a book that I'm buying personally versus like, am I just telling people to buy it? And you kind of, and so it's better to kind of show books that you're actually buying. And it's like, as opposed to me telling you to go get stuff. So, or it's a balance. I think it's a balance.
And I want to echo what Josh said. You are one of the nicest men on YouTube. I've watched you for pretty much since you started, but you've had a change. Early on, you were not quite anti-slab, but you started out with mostly raw books, and you were very hesitant to get any slabs. What's your feeling now of this, of being a slab collector and raw comics, and with the controversy with CGC?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that beginning, it's not that I was ever really against slabs. It was just that like, if I can find a raw book for cheaper, like why wouldn't I just do that? Yeah. But I started to notice, and maybe you guys would even have a good opinion on this, but like even over the last like year and a half or so, like I feel like the gap, especially in Silver Age, the gap of the price of a raw Silver Age and the graded Silver Age has really narrowed. Whereas before it was like you really could find that discount on the raw book. So I kind of just found myself in a position where, especially if it's like a very expensive, type of Silver Age book, like it's actually really hard to find it raw. It's almost easier to find it in a slab at this point. And since they kind of sell around the same price, I've just kind of accepted adding slabs, but it's not like a goal of mine that like everything has to be slabbed. But yeah, the CGC controversy, I mean, there's so much to unpack. I feel like there's so many, there's so many angles to the controversy. And I don't know if I have a good answer, like as far as like, am I going to take my business to CBCS or what, what I think is right. I think I'll say that I'm still trying to like formulate my own opinion about it, but I will say that the whole like CGC starting to do whatnot partnership stuff.
Yep.
I think that I don't know. It doesn't. There's something about that feels like, oh, this is going to go down like a bad path. Personally, that's what I think.
Right.
So I currently it feels like it's all sort of, oh, it's just transparent and hey, we're just going to do like kind of a brand awareness partnership and hey, what's so wrong in that? But I just sort of see this as like an inevitability of it being kind of like this, I don't know, big business being created.
Yeah, but to answer your first part about the books, I noticed it. I've noticed that big dealers, have started doing it. They'll have a raw book, and they'll have it priced the same as a graded book.
Yeah.
And once they started doing it, everybody started kind of trickling down doing it. So it's like you said, for Silver Age, even Bronze Age, it's very hard to find those deals on raw books.
Yeah,
it's almost better to buy it slab because you almost can get a better deal on slab.
yeah.
And you'll actually see, I picked a book, man, and you'll see like it's a 9.2, but it's like it's the same price for a raw, like you're saying, as it is for a 9.2. Now I'm like, I'd rather just, what are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy the raw or the slab for the same damn price, right? Like, so
it's weird too how there gets to be some breaking points, especially in bronze and stuff, where all of a sudden raw books, if there's like certain 9.2s and 4s, like you're saying, like those will be even cheaper than like raw books and stuff.
Yes,
just because of the potential of the raw book grading higher.
That's what like modern books. If you get like a 9.4, 9.0, you might as well just crack it and sell it raw, right? Like
right.
Because the potential, like you said, makes it worth a lot more than your damn grade. If you messed up the book. So let's see who else. We got some other cats in the house, man. So Efren said he's gonna put his Oscar up, man. So there you got competition with Efren,
nice,
bro.
Yeah.
And then we got Actual Dracula now. What's up, man? All the way from Canada. And then we got Craig in the house, Space Fair Collectibles. What's up, Craig? So Craig's, that's our homie, man. It's another part of the Rat Pack there. And we got Cooks in the house, man. I'm gonna be on his show on Instagram on Wednesday around like 5 or 6. So come by. And then we got Michelle still in the house. She's a 90s baby. And then got Comic Ozzy in the house, man. What's up, man? Then we got Left Throws too, man. Left Throws, the gap between copper high grade raw and 9.8 is a gold mine. Yep.
Yeah.
Left Throws has a really good Instagram, man. I mean, I've been trying to tell people like if you like if you want FOC tips on FOC or books of the week that week, man, it's super easy, man. You go to his page, bro, and it's like there, like you don't have to watch a 10-minute YouTube channel to get your info. You just go to his Instagram, man. He got it going good.
Yeah, he's doing good specs for sure.
Really good, man. Yeah. And then Past Point says CGC is selling a comic book with big time collectibles conflict of interest. And I think that's what we're talking about, right? Like you go at Whatnot, that's just a conflict of interest, right? It's all meshed up and messy. It gets just messy, bro. Muddy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one thing, and not to go too deep on it, that's one thing CBCS when Steve Borak was there. He kind of frowned upon. Well, he didn't really let people collect comics when you're great if you're a grader. I don't know what they're doing now, but they got other issues they're dealing with. But when he was over the leadership, it was like, no, we're not going to have that conflict of interest. If you're going to be a grader, you're a grader. You're not a collector and a grader. and he just got back into collecting because he took a new job. So, shout out to Steve. I wish he could have stayed with the company, but or even stayed with CGC because awesome guy, very nice guy, very knowledgeable. If anybody ever meets him, definitely say hello, and he'll talk your ear off about a lot of stuff if you ask him questions.
It's just icky, man. It's like watching, two people start dating at work. You're like, it ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna work out, bro. Like, I don't even want to see it at the end. I'm just gonna stay in my office, bro, in my cubicle, man. So.
Yeah.
But hey, man, let's get into it, man. Let's get into our picks, man, because Mickey got some good ones, man. You guys are gonna want to check this out. But let's do this, man. If I can find there we go. First, man, so I'm picking the first appearance of the Moon Girl over here with Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur #1, man. So I mean, why am I picking this, man? So I'm going to D23 in about 2 weeks. And Saturday is usually the biggest day for D23. They're having the big MCU panel, the big Lucasfilm panel, and they're also adding this as one of their big panels on Saturday, man. So they're coming hard with this cartoon. It's going to be an animated cartoon, and I think this might be. I think they're going to really include Lunella in this in the MCU someday. I also went to did you guys go to Disneyland yet to what is it? California Adventures? Am I the only one? You've been there lately?
I've been to California Adventure. It's been a while though.
So with the Spider-Man ride, I forgot what Adventures Campus.
I was on that. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. It was exhausting because you keep shooting webs and your arms are tired by the end. But it was a fun ride.
Yeah, that's an exercise and a half, bro. Yeah, I was sweating after that one, man. But when you walk in there, they show a lot of the youngsters in there, right? On the side panels as you're walking in, and
right.
she is one of them, man. She's one of them on there as well. So I think this book has been on a pretty decent, not dip, but it's been kind of cruising around 240. The near mints are at 75. I remember this being about $150 raw book at one time. Now it's about half price. And I'm going to show you guys some of the prices. So those are the 9.8s there. And if you can look back about not even a year ago, these were about $500, and you can buy these now for about $200. It's a really good price, man. I mean, there's a lot of upswing on this, a lot of legs. I mean, she's getting her own cartoon, and it seems like D23 really wants to push this as a book, as a character. I see this actually going back up, no less than $500, right? So if you could pick one up for $200, you can make 120% on your investment, man. So I think this is a good book to pick up right now as a modern. I think she has some legs. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys? I know, Ja. What do you think, Ja?
Yeah. The one to get actually is the second print of this first #1 issue. The second print is really tough to find. So if you can find that out there in the wild, great. I actually bought one, had it sent over, and it got lost in the mail. So I still don't have one.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, but the second print, if you can find that, I love the first. I think this has a lot of legs. Absolutely.
Yeah, man, she's a great character, man. Yep. In the comic books, this whole run was really good, and she connects a lot with all the new youngsters coming in, into the MCU as well. Yep. I know who that's into it, but who that's away. What do you think? Who that? Go ahead, bro. I know. Go who that, man. I already know. I saw you look.
First off, if you are looking for this book in a 9.8, shout out to a good buddy of mine, Elite Comics 11. He actually lives in California. Ali from Elite Comics. He sold recently two copies for 9.8 to this book, like $199, and they get claimed instantly because they were selling for $400 to $500.
190? Did you say 190?
$199.
190. I mean, the proof's right here, bro. Like, yeah.
Do I think it's a great book? This is not the hunt, huh, Dan? This is not the hunt.
Wait. Just drop the vote line.
Yeah, that's the second print. But and also, hey, don't forget about this one. This one is a hard one to get in the 9.8. So
yeah. That
So,
that hip hop cover, yeah, for reals, man.
yeah, I actually was reading this and I had them and I said, you know what, I want to try to get 9/8 and end up getting like only 198. But yeah, it's a great book. Good character. I saw previews of the cartoon. I think the cartoon is going to be really good for kids, and I know me and my daughter's going to watch it, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and at D23 they have a whole panel right after the big panel on Saturday, and then they're bringing the whole cast for a signing. You know, so you're really pushing this. They're really pushing this animated show. What do you think, Swag? I know you're a Silver Age, Bronze Age dude, but what do you think, man?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great pick to a lot of the things that you said. Like, you know, I personally don't know too much about Moon Girl. Like, I haven't read the series or anything, but like you said, I feel like I see her kind of everywhere, at least like being pushed out and stuff. So you know that Marvel believes in it. And I mean, when you're getting around $200 for a 9.8 of like any first appearance that is like somewhat notable, I feel like, I mean, it's such a low risk at that point, you know, like $200 is kind of nothing, right? For like a 9.8 first appearance of a character, especially when you compare it to what it was selling for before. So yeah, I mean, this feels like a great time to jump on this book.
Yep. And Zoris is right on it, man. We talked about this on our last show. Lawrence Fishburne is one of the voices. He's going to be the Beyonder, the voice of the Beyonder. So Beyonder's coming in as as in the animated series. But who knows, man? I mean, they're all trying to connect the animated series to the live action stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
it's all
connected, man. It's all connected, you know. So let's say what's up. We got some other people up in here in the chat, man. We got Tyrone's in the house. What's up, Tyrone? Tyrone. What's up, man? Then we got Black's in the house, man. Thank you for coming on, Tyrone and Black, man. We know it's midnight over there, bro. Thank you. We appreciate you guys, man, in Canada. And then we got, let me see here. We got Desires in the house, bro. Another East Coaster, man. Thank you for hanging out. And we know it's 11:30 out there, bro. We appreciate you guys coming on. But who's next, man? I think that might be. Let me see here if my thing will move.
Before you go, Ian, I know a little bit about this character, but that is one of the most adorable covers I've ever seen. The little girl kissing the dinosaur. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, all the covers on in Moon Girl, they're really good covers. There's a lot of like great ones, man.
Also, they have the Kingpin's daughter first appearance.
Yeah, Kingpin's daughter in there. Yep. All right, John, what you got, man? I'm interested in this one. I was like, what's going on with this book, man? Go ahead.
So, first of all, I like how Huda just pulled out like 3 different versions of like just had them readily available.
Get used to it. He does that a lot.
I just thought I'd highlight Daredevil Yellow. There's a lot of rumors about Daredevil. Yeah, I don't. Spoiler alert. It's supposed to come out in She-Hulk, right? So, a lot of things on Instagram you can see he has a yellow costume on his original costume. So, it just reminded me, if you can't afford the first 6 issues, I think it's the first 5 or 6 issues of Daredevil, you can always go to Daredevil Yellow. Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale. Every book that I've ever read with that crew is some of my best, favorite stories that I've ever read, and this is no exception. And I just thought it might, for the short term, have some legs.
No, I like it, man. What you guys think, man? What you guys think about this pick? And I want to show a couple of other ones that Jaw has shown me, man. So you could, here's the whole run right here. If you guys want this 1 through 6, and those are the prices there for this run as well, man. I like it too, man. I mean, we already know he's coming back in the MCU on Disney Plus, man. And people say that I don't know, man. I don't know if it was a yellow suit. It looked like there was more like the lighting made it look yellow. Yeah. What do you guys think? Is it just me?
What I've been told it is yellow, but
I think they announced that it was yellow, even if it doesn't look like it to you. I think they've said, oh, he is wearing his yellow suit.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. Okay. Right,
if anything, this was a great read, a really good read, actually.
Yeah. I love Tim Sale as like an artist. I think he's so unique. And I've been sleeping on this series. I need to go back and check this out on Marvel Unlimited. But I think this is an awesome. Like, this is like definitely like a cool deep cut spec, like, for sure. Because I think you're right. I mean, not a lot of people are going to be able to get, those early Daredevils, and this is definitely a cool. If you want to own kind of that yellow suit, reference, I feel like what a great book to pick up for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Great set, man.
I have to say, this is a great pick. But if you do want a yellow suit Daredevil, 3 through 6 are very affordable. And in my opinion, when I think of stuff that's very affordable, when you can get you pay about $100 and get a copy, that's affordable in my book for a Silver Age key, because a lot of it 1 through 6 were keys. And just to put a little bug in people's ear, the show's with 30 plus episodes, they said. So he's probably gonna have more than one villain and more than one story arc. So my money is on the Owl. So I'm just saying, look out for those different characters in that early run. But this is I remember seeing this way back in the day, but now I'm gonna have to go look for it in my FCS.
Well, with Charlie Cox reprising his role, and it seems like the MCU has a lot of plans for this Daredevil character. I think it's a steal across the board. Silver, bronze, copper, and modern age. All Daredevils are going to be hot for a while.
Yeah, he's going to be around, like you said, man. The series is going to be a big series, man. It's not going to be like they're 6 to 8 episodes, right? It's going to be like 18 to 20, right? Something like that, So yeah, great pick, man.
And a number of crossovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. Let me see here. Let me see what we got here, man. So Left Row says that's a great series, man. Worth owning, man. And he says he's looking at it for a good price. You could probably find these like in the back bins, right? What do you think, man? Right now. Yeah, totally, man. For sure, man. Kamikaze says, I just hope they don't take the gritty feel. Me too, man. That street level. These are street level characters, man. We got to keep that. We can't. If they take Daredevil, into space, bro, like there's just gonna be something wrong. That's gonna be all bad, bro. Keep them in the street, man. He says this and Spider-Man Blue are good sets by Tyrone there, man. And then Zora said,
they got Hulk Gray as well.
And isn't she the smartest character in a Marvel Universe? Talking about Moon Girl. Yep.
I think she is.
Yep.
She's either the smartest or like top 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
King's in the house, man. King of Golden State. I was trying to guess where he got. If you guys didn't go to his Instagram, man, he found the Motherlode, man, at a flea market in the Bay Area. And I know you used to go hunt in the Bay Area, man, in the flea markets, Swag, back in the day.
I mean, a little bit, but I've been in LA for so long, so
I know, yeah.
now my flea markets are like they do one at like the Rose Bowl that I've been to a couple times.
Yeah, man, the Bay Area, they're kind of epic, bro. Like those flea markets. So I was trying to guess where he went, and he said it wasn't at a flea market that carries comic books. And I was like, then Ashby never carries comic books. It had to be that one. And he was like, hell no, they still don't have it, bro. And then actually Dracula says, hey, Hyper, let me see who was in the house, man. I think that's it, man. All right, moving on, man. Great pick, Ja. And that's something I think I'm going to be looking out for as well, man. Next up, let me see if I can get my thing right here. Next up is there you go. We got Who Dat, man, with a big book, bro. With a big book. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, I always got to pick up.
I know.
Like that, throw it out there. But this is a book a lot of people forget about for is Doom Keys. A lot of people try to get these covers of Doom, other stuff, and spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on them. And I've seen this book gradually grow, like small steps, and it shouldn't take small steps because it's the origin of Dr. Doom in this book, and it's from 1964. So it's to me it's a big key. It also has some other first appearances, I think, as well in this book. It also comes with I forgot how many pinups are in this book, but it's a whole bunch of pinups. So you do find this book raw. Please check your pages and everything else. But I mean, when you can spend $300 and get like a mid-grade copy for a major MCU villain key, it's hard to pass it up because you got modern books that sell for that price. So it's one of those books that should be trending, but it's not trending. If that makes sense,
it's down almost more than 10%. I mean, according to the trend, and
it makes no sense. But if you look at his first appearance or his second appearance, well, obviously his first appearance, but you look at his second appearance, that book is crazy. It's gotten crazy now. Even his third appearance is that's in the FF. People that book's even more expensive. I was going to buy a third appearance because I already have the first and second. Man, that thing is more than I would want to pay for it. I can get this book and save several $100s.
Mhm.
So and I like the cover, so it's just overall I think it's a book that everybody should have, especially for the price.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely, man. That's one of my dream books. You got it? You got this book, John? I know you got this book.
Actually, my question is, how many does Huda have? Because
right.
How many I had? I had 3. I have 1 now. That's all I have.
Yeah.
I not to brag on. So when I sell, a lot of times I love sell comics. As long as I make a little money and give somebody a book that they don't have, I'm actually happy. That's all that matters to me when I'm selling, because I'm not a dealer. So if I make $10 on a book that you like, oh, this is my grail, or this is one of my grails, I'm happy. It makes me feel better. So yeah, I had 3 copies. I might have had 4. I don't remember, but I sold all of them and kept the highest grade.
A Silver Age book, it's an annual, so there's probably not that many as there were the regular series. I mean, it's a Silver Age book. It's Dr. Doom cover. It's a Doom origin. It's a no-brainer in my opinion. 1964.
It's a curvy cover too, right? Like, I mean, can you go wrong, man? Like, I mean, that's a classic curvy Doom face, man. I love it. Those eyes. I mean, he just really made Doom's eyes like his emotional point, man. What do you think, Swag?
Yeah, this is an awesome book for sure. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, Doom's coming. Everyone's going to have Doom FOMO and go crazy. But you're not really going to be able to FOMO into Fantastic Four #5. I mean, maybe you can, but like not a lot of people are going to be able to. So it's like, you got to think about those books that are like, okay, well, what's, the second best thing or the third best thing or whatever. And maybe the second best thing is his second appearance, or whatever. But this is like, it's going to be the top 3 Doom book, or like a top 4, maybe if you want to throw in some other Doom cover in there. But like for that reason, the origin, I feel like this is still attainable, and Doom's going to be, the character that is the main villain for, the foreseeable future in a lot of ways. And so, it's just it's a great book for sure.
I mean, it's exactly. It's going to be it's going to be Kang now, and eventually Doom's going to have to show up. My thing. I hope he doesn't show up with Kang. I just think Doom deserves his own big villain for like a decade. The way they kind of built up Thanos. I don't want him teaming them up, man. Doom needs his own. Doom needs his own spotlight, man. Dan, man, I know you love this book. Go ahead, Dan.
This is currently one of the rare Silver Age books that's financially dormant. In other words, it's not moving up like it should be, but it will at some point. There is absolutely no downside to having this in your collection.
Totally, man. And then we got one of my Doom heads here, man. Free Energy, man. He already knows, bro. He's in the house, man. Dude, he's in the house. Let me see here, man. We got who else we got in the house, man? We got Como. Como's in the house. What's up? What's going on, man? What's going on? Man, someone said a really good. Let me see here. What Tyrone say? Swag people may FOMO to FF5, but their credit card limit won't.
Exactly.
They won't, bro. They won't, man. And then King's over here, man. He says FF6 is still obtainable. Second Neymar and Doom.
It was, but when I seen a few videos recently, like pumping it up, and it broke some sales. It's gonna be hard now. It's gonna be hard now.
Yeah, man. Great pick, though, man. Great pick. But onto one of the masters in the YouTube game, bro. What you got? Wait. So here's the 9.8s. So I did a little research for you too, man. So 9.8s are about $8,000, right? So you got 9.8s, 9.2s. But then I think I looked up what the 6.0s are or 5.0s, and look, there's a really good price point right here for these 5.5s and the 6.0s. The 6.0s kind of there hasn't been a sell since 2021 on these, so you probably can get these for maybe like 30 to 40% off right now. That's what I'm kind of guessing, if you can find a 6.0. But these mid grades right here are kind of like a good point right now to buy this book right now. But great pick, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm always gonna do a little research for y'all to find the good deals for our viewers as well, man. But what you got, Swag, man? I saw this, man. Bro. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Well, the way that you framed it to me was like, a book that people are overlooking. And while you guys are coming in with like scalpels here, I'm just coming in with a hammer, blunt instrument. But okay, I might be biased on this book because I love Cap and the Avengers and stuff. But here's my thought process for this. Sometimes I think it's good to get the book that it's like like doom is coming. I think that there's like a good reason to hop on these types of books. But sometimes I think it's good to find the books that are like done, so to speak, or like, you don't have that same sort of spec, because you can kind of feel a little safer with where the floor is right now. And when I think about like this book and just being first Silver Age Cap, I mean, not a lot of us are ever going to be able to own the true first appearance of Cap. But, when I think about this book and kind of what it represents as far as like this status of character, and, you compare him to the other characters that came out in this time, I feel like this is, probably the most attainable sort of blue chip S tier character, pseudo first appearance that you're really ever going to be able to find. I mean, especially when we're talking about this era, which is like the 1964, 63 characters and stuff. And I kind of just feel like this book hasn't really had that same sort of, 2021 pop that a lot of other books have had, because, we're on the other end of the Chris Evans journey. But even with all that being said, I mean, in our lifetimes, Chris Evans is coming back 100%. Like, it's going to happen for sure. He's going to come back. And I just think that this is just such a great Silver Age book that generally I think has been overlooked. And depending on your budget, I think it's somewhat affordable. So I don't know. That's my pick.
No, man, I read that it's that he's coming back, man, in some form. He has to, right? Everybody's coming back except for
everybody's coming back at some point for sure.
Tony Stark's going to come back as a hologram. We already know that, bro. I mean, they have to come back. I mean, you would be if you're Disney, why wouldn't you want to bring him back? You just be losing money by not. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
What you guys think? Dan, what do you think, Dan, man? I know you love this book too, bro. I know Dan loves this book.
This is one of my grails that I did get hold of. This was my best example for being persistent with comic collecting on a budget. I found one at a 4.0 CBCS signed by Stan Lee for $650. I couldn't pass. I almost didn't buy it because I thought it was a joke. But there it is in my collection. Even at the prices that they're at now, this 1500 V 3.0 is still worth it, because at some point, these are going to be as expensive as they are now. I think they're going to be unobtainable, because again, they're getting older, and as they get older, they're going to become more scarce. So I would probably get these sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, we got Craig there saying, great choice, man. Wait till you see my copy of this. It's getting graded right now. It's comical, man. It's comical. Yeah, man. What do you think, John?
I love this cover. First time I ever owned this one was, I think I was 12 or 13 years old, and I made a trade for like some like Hot Wheels and like 40 bucks.
You did. You told me about that. I remember that. Yeah.
And one of my favorite covers of all time. It's a classic, and I think Swaggle House hit it out the park with this one, because it's no matter if he comes back or not, it's a classic cover.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. So you can't beat one of my favorite Avengers covers, actually. When you think about the Avengers 1 through 20 or so, this one probably sticks out the most, in my opinion.
Yeah. Who that? What do you think, bro?
It's a book that I used to have and I don't have, and I regret not having still. But it's one of those. He's going to return. Robert Downey Jr. is going to return because they're not having success in other things. I hate to say it. So they got to get back to the money, man. Disney has that money. They're going to go back eventually, even though they don't need it. But Secret Wars, I think, is going to be a sign for a lot of those people to come back. But all in all, it's still a key book, a great book. And like Golden Age Cap is sometimes might be out of reach for everybody.
Yeah.
So this is probably the next best thing. That I would have to say, if you want a key book of Captain America, it'd be this one. And if you can get a Golden Age Cap, more power to you, because sometimes those are few and far between.
Huda, do you think the Secret Wars, when it finally comes out, will be the grand return of Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr.?
I think so. But we know one thing about Chris Evans. He didn't die. His character, he was just old and a part of so it's like, and they aged him up. We can go on and on about it, but yeah, they're gonna come back. We know they are. We don't know when, but we know they will.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, when they bring Secret Wars, man, and
Yep.
there's so many. I mean, they're doing that for a reason. They're doing it to bring more other characters in that we love and other characters that we do love, right?
Mm.
You know, so I mean, it opens up the world for it opens up the Marvel
I got a
universe for
feeling
everything.
Secret Wars is going to be the death of a lot of characters. A lot of
Bro.
ones that weren't so great, successful wise. It's going to be a bloodbath. I think Secret Wars.
I mean, what made us love Infinity Wars, bro? Like when everybody died, it's like, damn, they did it, bro. Like when they killed everybody off, I was like, this is the greatest movie ever in comic book history, bro. They just offed everybody. They offed half of all the heroes that we love, man. You know,
It was all the new heroes. Only the original Avengers survived.
bro, when they off Spider-Man, bro, I was like, that's effed up. That's effed up, bro. I was effed up. You know, because we didn't know what was gonna happen. Bro. I was like, that's effed up, bro. Like, you know, so I mean, they could pull off again, man. We got one of the other girls of the comic of the slabbed world. It's Desire Comics saying Avengers #4 is super safe book to have. I own a decent copy. Regretfully, I sold a similar grade a few years back, man. But great pick, Swag, man. As always, man, bringing that knowledge, bro. But yo, man, let's check out what books we have in the freezer. Here's a book, man, I've been keeping my eye on for a long time because I missed a good one. So right when COVID happened, right, and we started coming back to cons. We have a small little con here in San Diego, and a guy had it was a pretty messed up copy, but he was selling the thing for like $250, and I barely missed it. The guy sold it to someone as I was trying to buy it from him. And ever since then, man, I've been getting the FOMO, man, that I should have bought this book. So I've been keeping my eye on this on 94 for many reasons, man. This is like this is a second team appearance of like the new X-Men. This is where Claremont started up, and we have like the second appearance of Storm, Nightcrawler, and Colossus. Fourth appearance of the Wolverine, first appearance of Dragonfly, and a lot of different other things, man. And this is the first book. It's just classic Claremont, man, where he started his run, and this is a book I've been kind of really looking for a long time. As you guys can see, man, where the trend's down about 15%. A 5.0 to 6.5 is going for $7.97, and I'm gonna show you something right here. You see that 8.0 right there goes for $1,203, man. So I'm gonna let you guys see what the 9.8s are. Of course, I can't afford that, bro. Like my wife will kill me. My wife will kill me, bro. My wife will hang me, bro. She'll you'll see. It'll be just like at Mexico, bro. Like when the cartel gets someone, they'll be hanging outside my front, right above my car in my garage. Right there. So
you'll be hanging, holding the book that you bought, and she'll take a picture of the.
I know, right here. It'll be on me, but there'll be a knife.
Knife through it, yes.
Right through it, bro. So no, I'm not talking about the 9.8s, man. I'm looking at these 9.2s. So these 9.2s that you can see, like about a year ago, these are about $5,000. Look, you're getting about a half price right now. You know, as of like March, one sold in July, just July, and then we have one sold in March for about. Look at that! Look at the price difference, man. It's went down $1,000, man. You know, like this is a really good book, and I'm really considering really buying this. Like we talked about, like Swag talked about, like you can actually. I seen this book, not even a 9.2 at one of the cons, and someone was selling it for $1,700. Not even a 9.2, not even 8. I wouldn't even say it was like about an 8.0 to a 7.5. You know, like I'd rather try and see if I can get this sucker for about $2,200 to $2,000 to see if I can get it within that range at a con, than buy something that I know that's not gonna hit that margin of like a 9.0 or 9.2. You know, it's all a guess, man. We could buy our raw book and we're like, oh, that looks like a 9.2. You send it to CGC, the person has a bad day right before you sent it, and you get back a 8.0. Like it's all a guessing game, man. It's a guessing game. So I mean, I'd rather go for like this 9.2. I see $2,800, but I'm seeing the market actually going down. So I'll try and catch it around 2,200, 2,100. Maybe even at $2,000, man. You just never know. Like with the way that the market's kind of carrying, and I think it's a steal right now. Like this book, if I can get it to where I want it, like if I can let the market have a little patience, you know, have a little patience, have my money ready, have the cash ready, not have the credit card. Put that cash. I got $2,100 right here, man. I'll buy that from me at 9.2, and I'll show them the stats. I'll show them the stats right here. I have the stats on my phone, man. Let's look on cover price what these are going for, and then meet them right there around 2,100, 2,200. They save on taxes. I save on taxes, and we all walk away happy, right? Something that who that would say, right? Like we both walk away happy, right? Like right now, it's a really good book to buy right now. A real classic book, like I'm saying, man. I'm going to start one of the beginnings of X-Men with Claremont, one of my favorite writers of all time, man. I know he's that for everybody else here, man. But it's like this, like I mean, what Swag said, man. I mean, it really. I didn't think about it that way, but now that I'm looking at like the stats in my research that I'm always doing, it's probably a really good time to buy a slab, which is meeting right there at the points where the raw sales are happening too right now. What do you think, Mickey, man? You think this is attainable at the price where I'm thinking with the $2,100 in the face? You know,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I just looking at the numbers now. I mean, maybe who that might know if you're selling more. Sometimes the dealers, if they got their number in mind, they don't really care about what the cover price stuff is. But it seems like you're probably going to be able to find a deal on this one. It definitely feels like it's just a great book to pick up. I think this is like a good example of like, a lot of the X-Men books when everything was booming, I think people were so excited about, I mean, everything went up, but I think people were so excited specifically about X-Men that like they just shot up too fast. But it is also like goes to show that it's like, hey, when we start to actually get them and have those moments with the X-Men, like, I mean, think of like the fandom and the fervor and the collectors that are going to go nuts. So now's the time to get it when people have kind of, gotten impatient with the book. And now's definitely the time to hop on this one. And I feel like I've heard Dan say this before, but or maybe somebody on a live show was talking about like, wasn't this at one point, like back in the day, like people paid higher prices for this book than Giant Size X-Men #1 because
That's
this was
true.
like the official X-Men title.
Yes,
So,
they
I mean,
did. They did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just hoping I can buy some time, man, Mickey, like, because I know D23 is coming. I'm like, do not say any X-Men. Do not say X-Men. Do
It's a
not
little
say
bit of a
X-Men.
gamble.
It's a gamble, bro. Like, because
Yeah.
if they don't
But-
say X-Men, I could get it at 2,100. If they say X-Men, I'm done.
No, I think he'd still be okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to announce X-Men actually there.
I sure,
That'll be
man.
my
I'm
guess.
hoping. I'm not gonna. I'm like, go ahead, Dan.
Mickey just reminded me, wasn't there a confusion at the time back in the day when they thought this was the first appearance and then Giant Size X-Men 1 was the second appearance? You just triggered a memory.
Yeah, that's true, Dan. It used to be worth more than the Giant Size.
That's correct. That's right. That's right.
And people thought that this was the first appearance of the X-Men, like Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Giant Size kind of popped right when COVID happened, man, and it overtook this book. Like I remember. Go ahead. Go.
I was gonna say, that this book actually, this is way before my time when this book was probably better than the Giant Size because I bought this book before COVID
really?
in like 2019. Yeah, January 2019, right before all the stuff happened. And I'll regret selling it because I was like, I'm going to get it again because that was a good price. I bought an 8.0 for $500. In 2019, you were not buying a Giant Size 8.0, I don't even think, for under $1,000. So this book fell off tremendously. I think if you want to buy this book, Ian, I would say auction houses.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Comic Links, all these other auction houses. You probably get your $2,000 mark. Dealers are having these dealers are like having these high hopes going back, so they're not wiggling off prices, if that makes any sense. But I would say auction houses and eBay, or you find people who are selling like on IG claim sales and stuff through Elite Comics 11 or other avenues. You'll get somebody who's selling a personal copy and they'll be like, I got this book when it was like I just described $500. Oh yeah, I'll sell it to you for $1,700. And you'd be like, what? So I don't think the dealers are gonna give you a deal, but you'll definitely get a deal one of those other avenues. So great book. I think get it, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I think you got another year before we get an announcement.
I know. I know. I got a boogie on this one. You're about to say something, Swag?
Oh no, I
Okay.
wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought I interrupted you, man. Go ahead.
Let me throw something out. At the height of my collection many years ago, I had this book. I had Giant Size X-Men 1 and most of the Claremont run. And I'm just going on my memory here. That 97 was not a great story as a standalone. I think it was Claremont when he just got started with the run. I think he was just getting going with momentum. The story itself wasn't all that great, which may reflect why this is on the down dip right now.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here, man. Hype. I mean Tyrone. My bad. One of the big X-Men books I need to complete is. Yep, me too, man. Definitely, bro. If she would do that, so my wife would do that at an 8.0. Wonder what happens if she gets a 9.8. She would beat him with ninja.
Oh my god.
She would, bro. Yep. And then 9.8s are crazy. F said, and then Como said it's very tough book in a 9.8. Definitely, bro. With that green. Someone said it. That green. Como said that green, blue. That greenish blue face. Bad, man. Let me see. Kamikaze book. Comic books. Every time I see the books, it's always so faded. And Zoris is pointing me towards Shortbox. That's where I kind of buy all my slabs too, man. So, in the past points, all these X-Men books, I was there when they came. He actually slabs the books he bought when he was like 13. So like everyone says, patience is the key, and patience and persistence and
Perseverance.
Yeah, the three P's.
Yep.
P's,
There
man.
you go.
All right, man. So that's my pick, and I think John, man, what you got, bro? Let me see if I can get my thing moving here. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I put this one in the freezer. Limited print run, Adam, Legend of Blue Marvel. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that's watching. It's been one of those hot spec book for quite some time, and then it's dropped off quite a bit since its peaks, at least. And I just think that this one, just because it's limited print run, it's the first appearance of him. Maybe in a couple months might be even a better deal, but you can probably buy this at a lower price, and I think it has a lot of room to run, especially if the Marvels, when that movie comes out, even if they show him or talk about him, or he's somewhere in passing in a cameo situation, this book will definitely explode.
All you need is a mention. That's all you do.
Yeah.
It seems these days, man. All you need is like a mention, and the book goes up 25%, bro. It's crazy.
The mention is like the new trailer now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the mention is the thing that really pops it off.
Or like Azor said, like if it's on the back, if it's like on the back wall, right. Your Avengers book, it's like that's a mention, somewhere it goes up 25%. It's like, man, all right, okay, Azor says he needs a time machine.
We all do.
That's my pick. That's what Funhouse. What's up, Funhouse? How you doing, bro? Welcome, man. Azores, man. That's right. I'm grabbing that one right now. And then let me see here. Talking about impossible to find. It is, man. I've been looking for his book for a second too, man. And Kamikaze said, I'm headed back soon. What do you need? And it's no 4. It's not bad either. So what you guys think, man? Who wants to step in?
Let me start. You know what I know about this book? I lost the Hunt World Championship because Hudat brought out 2 of these, a 9.8 and a 9.6.
What?
Yeah, I got stomped on in that match. I'll never forget it.
You seem like an expert, Hudat. Go ahead, bro. What you thinking about this book?
Dad hates this book.
It's not that fine. That's fine. No, but I don't have a 9.6 anymore. I left my raw copy back in 9.6 or 9.8. But yeah, no, it's a great book and a great character to have inclusion, if that makes it. And I want to say, reason why I say that is because we lost a key male African American character as in Black Panther. This would be a great filler, and then I'd feel a little bit better having another male Black character in the MCU. And I think Marvel's good about doing that, and they usually do it right, even though some people might not like what they're doing. I think that he worked well. He worked well with the Marvels. I think it's gonna he has keys with each of those characters, and I think he even like I said he's mentioned, but I think they're gonna do more than mention. You know, we don't know anything about that movie besides a couple of things that cast members let out that we know Monica Rambeau is gonna have the look like the Spectrum kind of costume maybe with that black and white. But besides that, we really don't know much about this. This movie's in the can like over a year ago, over 2 years ago, and and it's been very hush hush. So hey, you never know. We could get a casting for D23 about the character, you know. So hey, that's a great pick. I hope it comes to fruition. And if you can get this book, but get it raw. I suggest get it raw.
It's a hard book to find, man. Let's check this out, man. See what the stats say. 9.8s are going for about 2 G's. So one just sold for on 8/27, man. A couple weeks. What is that? That's like
2 days ago.
27.
Oh, wow.
Dang, on Saturday, bro. Someone knows something, bro. That's whenever I see something like that, I'm like, ooh, someone knows something. You know, a couple of days ago for 2 G's. But let's see what. No, let me see here. Then I have 9.6s are actually affordable. So you guys kind of see here the drop right here.
Yeah.
So this was back in February, and now it's selling about $350 less. So maybe you could get a 9.6, crack it, you know, do some magic on it, you know, do some magic with your press, and send some graders, try to pick some graders that in CGC and send them some flowers or something like that, and maybe get a 9.8. You know, make a guess, man. What do you think, Mickey?
Yeah, I think this is a great book. I mean, you keep hearing about Blue Marvel, like, you know, if you pay a little bit of attention to kind of the rumor stuff and the things going out there, and my feeling on like those types of rumors is like, you know, I say if there's smoke, there's fire, because like what we've seen a lot is like when a lot of the rumors that catch a lot of traction have been paying off, at least in what I've been noticing with like the last couple of movies and stuff. So I think Blue Marvel for sure is definitely a character that is likely to come. And yeah, I don't see this book too often. Like when I go out hunting, like I don't know if it was like a lesser print run for like what year it came out, but it definitely feels like, you know, the supply is a little bit lower, which you know is a good thing for sure if you're someone who gets this book at a good deal.
Mm-hmm. I've been hunting. I've never seen it in a wild. I haven't seen it in a wild yet, man. Have you guys? Am I the only one that hasn't seen it in a while? Like, you know, on a showcase, I've never seen it, man. You know,
Never seen it. No.
I've seen it on many IG claim sales.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's
I've only
only
seen it once in the wild.
yeah,
Really? Yeah, me either. I look for it and I don't see it.
17,000 print count. So for the number one.
Not bad, man. All right, man. Who dat? It's all you, bro, man. What you got, man? Go ahead, bro. I like your picks, man.
Well, Sam Wilson, you know he's the new Captain America, and they're getting the movie, you know, New World Order. We saw last thing we saw with the wings that he had. He gave it to what's his name? I forgot his name.
Joaquin Torres.
Torres.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
He gave it to him, and he said, he said, you keep him. Don't keep him. Joaquin was following kind of his footsteps, kind of like looking up to him. I think, and Sam is going to be like the focal point, and I don't think Winter Soldier is going to play. Maybe he might have a role, but I don't think it'll be a major role like he was in the TV show. So this will be. I think this is this. It's like breadcrumbs. It's like Marvel gives us breadcrumbs, or they gives us a map, or they gives us a calendar. A lot of times we don't pay attention to it. That's what they did with the TV show, and that's why I picked this book, because he actually becomes the new Falcon. It says cover only, but this is the money book. This is the, you know, I always talk about 180 or 181 for Hulk. You know, this is the money book for this character. Compared to his first appearance, and I think the next book of the series where he actually is in the series. Because, and then if you find this book, second print, super low print count. I would say if you can find a second print, but this book has been super, super low, and I think there's only 3 on the census and 9/8 of the second print.
Bro, you want to see something, man? I think I was looking this book up too for you,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only one 9.8. That's it, man. That's ever sold. Yeah, 1.8
Yeah.
ever sold.
Yeah, and only three on the census in the second print.
Yeah.
3 on the census. 'Cause I know, I know that because I have one, and the butcher has one, and we don't know who the third copy has. me and the butcher from Principal Defects has one of each of the other copies.
Wow.
So it's like, and I think the guy who played the characters did very well. So, but yeah,
I like him. Yeah, I like the character, the guy they picked.
yeah.
Too.
So it's gonna. I think, like I said, where like Swag said, where the smoke there's fire, and where Marvel always leads you. They basically tell you not telling you.
Yeah.
And people kind of forgot about it too, man. I mean, it's been a while since Captain America and the Winter Soldier show. What do you think? What do you think, Ja? What do you think about this book, man?
Yeah, no, the second print is very, very tough to find. I've never seen the second print anywhere.
There you go. There's a third.
And then, Joaquin Torres, man. I mean, this is a great pick. I like this pick. It's definitely in the freezer.
It is totally in the freezer, man. There's only one 9.8. I don't think there's anything. I looked for other sales, and there's only been one slabbed book sold on eBay, and it's been a 9.8, man. So not many of these books look like they're even slabbed, man. So great pick, bro. And we got swag, bro, coming with some heat, man. What you got, Swag?
Oh man, yeah. I mean, another just straight shooter here. Fastball down the middle as far as book that is cold. The reason I bring up this book is so one of the videos I've been trying to do on my series my YouTube is I've been trying to create like indexes for like the ages, like silver and bronze and stuff, and I made one for the Bronze Age. And like a lot of books have had corrections in the last couple of months, and the Bronze Age, generally speaking, has like gone down 30% from like the high, like just as a collective. But this book right here, across a lot of the grades from its former high, has gone down like 40%, sometimes 50%, which means like it's corrected even more than the average Bronze Age book. And to me, I think that's like kind of an overcorrection, in my opinion, for this thing. I think, I don't know, there needs to be a new term for books that are like, first appearance of Morbius or Eternals #1, or like whenever there's a book that is like, or the movie is generally not liked, or the show is generally not liked, and then now everyone just is selling off. I think that kind of happened a little bit with this one right here. And I think it's really kind of just overcorrected and kind of, dare I say, undervalued for what it's selling for right now, because it's basically rivaling that of its 2020 price, which I feel like if you're selling at 2020 price, like that's a pretty good time to get back in on a book, if you ask me. And I don't think we're done with Moon Knight. I believe in Oscar Isaac. I think just the actor is going to carry the role super hard, and I think we're going to see this character a lot more in the next few years. So that's my freezer pick.
No, I'm with you, man. Moon Knight ain't going away, bro. Like, I actually like the character, man. So Dan, what do you think, Dan? This is something in your wheelhole?
This is on one of the top books on my list to get hold of, and especially since it did get mixed reviews. But Oscar Isaac, again, he's too talented of an actor to not bring this home when he does return to the MCU. This is definitely something to get. I think because he is such a gifted actor, this book will rise once he returns to Disney Plus.
Yeah, and once they put him in the mix, wherever he's going to end up to, whatever team he's going to end up with, the Avengers or the West Coast Avengers or, Midnight Suns, wherever he's going to land, man. I mean, he's there for a reason, right, Swag? Like,
I think once you start to see like the interplay, with like the actor level of Oscar Isaac, and I think you're going to get a lot of people starting to fall in love with the character once you start to see like how how great he can or what he can bring to the table, because I feel like he was incredible in the show. He was the best part of the show, the acting performance itself. I didn't love the show in terms of like the plot and the writing and like all that stuff, but he alone for sure did an amazing job with the character. So, if you get him in the right hands of like the next creative team that does whatever Avengers movie or Midnight Suns movie and they knock it out of the park, I mean, I think he's going to shine.
Definitely, man. Let me see if I put up some stats for this one, man. There we go. So the 9.8s, we're gonna get. So the 9.8s are, yeah. That's my wife hanging me from the top of my garage price. So
Actually got higher sales than that in the 9.8. GPA has, I think, a $60,000 sale.
really, the 9.8 hasn't even sold since 2020, man. So we got right here at 9.6 back in January, February, March. In April, man, was at 19. And then a month prior, so, dude, someone got a big discount. Look, kind of looking at this. But check this out. Let's see what I pulled up. So I looked at the 8.5s, and check that out. There you go, Swag. Half the price, man. Half the price, bro. Even less than half the price. Yeah.
Yeah, the high end for sure.
Look at that right there, bro. $1,800.
Yeah, the high end for sure. I think it's held its value because they're so rare. But if you look at those 8.0s and the 7s and the 6s and the 4s, like those are all like half price basically.
Bro, look who's smiling, bro. Was that you? Who that?
I actually don't. I don't own this book. Right about this book though. Like not this book. A few others in that Bronze Age. Only one book out of this Bronze Age kind of keys have kind of held strong and gone up. And a lot of people know that this book that I'm about to say is that the Ghost Rider book, the Marvel Premiere 5. It's like the only out of all of these has actually gone up compared to everything else has been kind of like gone down and getting affordable. Save up probably pay for a couple of weeks and he can get you a decent copy. So it's one thing that's why I said also is no matter if you didn't like the show or you didn't agree with the show, a lot of people I've known who agree with this is that Oscar Isaac did an amazing job. He did a great job. And if you don't believe he did look at that show again and kind of mute some of the scenes with him in it and watch his mannerisms. You'll see how great he was as far as playing different. You can see when he switches the different characters of how his body.
Yeah.
So he did an awesome job, and I just can't wait to see when they get more money towards that character, and then because that's where it kind of boils down. You get more money, and then you'll see better scripts and better writing, and I think Marvel's going to get away from some of these shorter shows because I think they're going to see people love the Daredevil show with that 30 episodes, and they're the bigger characters, let's give them a little bit more than 8 episodes or 6 episodes. These smaller characters, we can give them 8 episodes, but Moon Knight, let's give them 15.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys? I mean, Swag, do you think he can win an Emmy for this, man? I mean, I think he could. I mean, the way he played both characters, or what do you think?
Well, I think that he could. I think that the Emmys will never give superhero shows awards.
Sucks.
Yeah.
But even with that performance he did, man, he was like totally two different people. The way he played it, like.
I mean, you would think, for sure. I mean, look, he's like definitely a Oscar Emmy caliber actor, So I think that he, no one would deny his talent, and just because he's in a superhero show, I feel like it doesn't mean that he's not acting at the same level that he brings to other movies that he does. So, yeah, he's incredible.
Yeah, but that's Hollywood, though. They have always frowned upon science fiction and like Star Trek, Star Wars, and now with the MCU, even though they have far larger numbers than what they show when it comes to their the Academy Awards, the actual awards that go to these writers and actors, even though they're producing brilliant performances, they don't get the accolades or the recognition from Hollywood. So I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah.
That sucks, though, man. That sucks, man. But yeah, man, great. Like Desire said, man, great value pick right now, Swag. Awesome value pick, man. But let's get into my favorite part of the show. One of my favorite parts of the show, and I think that's one of Huda's favorite parts of the show. Let's go. All right, man. These are our hell nah picks, man. The picks that you see that are in these top 10s, top 20s in the last 2 weeks. And these are books that we ain't picking up, man. And we're trying to advise you not to pick it up. And so the first one, I think 2 of our panelists agreed, man. And they're like saying hell no to this one. And you guys tell me why, man. We saying
Oh,
hell no to this one.
I've thought about suggesting this one too. So almost 3 people here.
You want to go first?
Okay, yeah, I'll go. Who that and I, we agree on a lot of things. I'm finding that out as these shows go on. This is one of those when we both picked. I was fine with the red foil that came out, recently, but this one, I mean, for the price, look, I mean, it's a nice, it's a nice issue. It's beautiful and everything. But for the price of it, you can get an original, right? Like a first print, second print, third print original for the same price. And if you're gonna get this, it's an iconic McFarlane cover. But if you're gonna get this, might as well get the first print.
Yeah.
9.6, 9. If you can get a 9.8, I can't do these things anymore. I can't do these kind of covers that come out again and again and again. I just can't do it anymore, man. That's pretty much it.
So funny. I said the same thing to Ian in a DM when I suggested this book. It's just like this is selling more than a first print, a decent raw copy of a first print. It doesn't make any sense. This goes back to Invincible reprint, when the Invincible and people spend your money how you want to spend your money, but it doesn't make any sense to me. And I wish people who are spending money could try to explain it to me. But when I'll use the Invincible as a reference. The Invincible reprint, the Whatnot books were selling more than the first print, which it was a hard to find first print because it was so printed. Invincible one. This reminds me of the same thing. It doesn't make any sense. Why I don't even have this book, and it probably should because of McFarlane cover. But if I want to get it, I'm gonna get the first print. And somebody said something about patience earlier in the chat. This is that book. This is where you use patience. Be patient. Wait 6 months. If you wait even longer, you might get it for the price people pay for it at the convention. I would just say stay away from it. Unless you were at the convention, you got it for whatever they're paying for it. That's fine. Yeah. But I wouldn't pay $100. I wouldn't pay $150. Or none of those for this book. Get the first print. You probably can get a first print and a second print. For this price. So that's just my opinion. I just stay away. These con books, I can't do it anymore. I can't. I'm done.
Good, Joe. I see you with the hand gestures, bro.
Yeah, man. So, one of my biggest fears, and I think I've seen this happen back in the 90s, right, is that comic books become, it becomes so profitable that eventually we see gimmicks. And to me, we're seeing a lot of gimmicky kind of comics. And like Hudat says, spend your money how you want. It's your money. But as Dan has reminded us in previous episodes, the economy is tough. It'll probably get tougher over the next, 6 to 8 months, what have you. Spend your money wisely. And I'm just not. Once you get gimmicks in comics or in anything, what's the value? What's the true value of these things at the end of the day? Like you can get some of the books that we talked about. You can get a good reader copy, or you can get a good mid-grade copy for some of the prices that these con exclusives go for. So that's just, again, I'm on my soapbox.
And look at Kamikaze, bro. He says, just so you know, Canada's still a great place.
It is great.
Man, I mean, as a person that goes to cons, and these con exclusives, is it worth the baggage now? Like to wait in line and have the video camera on you while you're picking it up? Because I know, I'm on YouTube. You guys are on YouTube too. Swag has a big channel. I mean, do I want to be caught in these lines for this damn thing, man, and carry the baggage?
Probably not.
No, I'm not gonna wait in lines, bro. Like, I'm not gonna be there, and I'm not gonna be on Thoro's show, you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, bro, it's not worth it to me, man. It's like I'd rather just go around and do like Swag does and look through all the dealers' books and go for the silver and bronze books, and there you go, man. Like there ain't no baggage there. Like these damn things, man. It's like you get caught buying this thing now, bro. Like it's like you're in trouble. It's like you get the police come out on you, bro. Woo 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 woo. And
Yeah,
it's just, you know, like it's not worth the baggage anymore, especially if you're like us who talk about comics on shows and we have, you know, our Instagrams. Like, you know, I'm just saying, like you guys. I don't say I'm an influencer at all, but like influencers, just stay away from this thing, bro. Like it's all trouble. It's all trouble. You know, if your face ain't on YouTube, like go ahead, bro. But us, like I gotta stay away. I'm not going this damn line. I'm not gonna get the damn goat cover and put it on my Instagram or my eBay and get caught, bro. Like no, it's like done. You know, so it's not worth the baggage to me, man. I know it's not worth the baggage to y'all either. Now, you know what I'm saying? So, look, Como said the same thing, bro. Like he's like, yeah, bro, I know, bro. You on YouTube, bro, too, bro. Like ain't gonna get caught in this damn line, man. You know,
Yeah.
so Passpoint says it right, man. Save your money, buy older books, man. And for me, man, my pick is this. Oh no, this is Swag's pick. Go ahead, Swag.
Oh yeah. Well, just to reiterate. I'm glad you guys put out that Batman one because I was thinking about suggesting it and agree. Now,
Agree.
for this pick, you know, look, let me get something straight. It's not that I think that this book isn't a great book. I think it's absolutely a great book. But when we're talking about things showing up on hot lists and just like when to buy and not to buy and all this stuff, the reason I bring up this one is because the reason it's hot in the market is because there's talk of it being optioned. And so my thing is less specific about this particular one, but just the idea of like optioned comics now and how like the market moves around them. And, you know, I think more and more as we get more streaming shows, more streaming services, more comics are now like very fertile ground for, you know, these Amazon and Netflix to like find IP and find shows to develop and stuff like that. We're going to get tons of options. But the truth about options, as someone who works in film, is it's like we are like so far away from an option getting onto your, you know, streaming Netflix show. Like when something gets optioned, it's like it's just a company that's like, yeah, we have interest in this, but they have to write it, they have to develop it, they got to find filmmakers for it, they got to like green light it, they got to go into production for it, they got to hope that the pilot's even good enough that they're going to decide to air it, they're going to have to like put it up, you know, on air, and it's going to have to be a successful season and not get actually canceled, you know, and really like it's like it's a miracle that The Boys is as successful as it is, and it's only until, you know, season 3 when like The Boys issue number 1 has kind of found a floor that's like a sustainable floor, you know? So anyways, my point being with this book is it's not that I don't think it's a great book, but I think you'll find that in 6 months time, when like the option hype has died down, you might be able to find that raw copy for half the price, or, you know, even the 9.8, if it's 191, you might be able to find it for $100, you know, in 6 months from now. So, could be a great book, could be the best show of all time in the future, but just one that I would, again, the 3 Ps, right? Patience, perseverance, and what was the other one?
I don't know.
Persistence, yeah.
Persistence. Yeah, I think you can find it on the dip later. Anyway,
so Mickey, as you were describing this, and very accurately, you could almost say the same thing about the Miss Minutes book.
Which one's the Miss Minutes book? The
one with her on the cover.
Oh yeah. Well, you mean the one that was the timeless variant?
The timeless. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, same type of thing. I mean, like all books, they when they're hot that week, you know, they always probably correct, you know, a month later or 2 months later or 6 months later, however long it's going to be. It's always going to find that floor eventually, or bounce or fall back down. And that was one of them, probably. I don't know what the prices on that one are right now, but I'm sure that they're a lot less than what they were going for when it first came out.
Go ahead, John.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, these, you know, when new books come out every week, it's kind of like an IPO in the stock market, right? It's a new stock that just comes out, and then people are all hyped up about it. You know, the people in the background, you know, the big people in the background actually make all the money, right? Because
the hedge funds.
That's what I was looking for. And then everything goes up, and then eventually once earnings season comes around, you know, the book starts dipping, and that's the same thing with this. You know, it's just that my analogy with the stocks is kind of the same.
It makes sense though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good analogy actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with Swag. It's a good read, but at these prices again, I don't know, if this is worth it.
What IPO was it? Was that, remember the bike one where that you can watch it?
Peloton.
Peloton. That's an example, right? Like it shot up and now it's like boing. I mean, you made a good point, man. Because I'm a big fan of the Sandman series on Netflix. It's really good, bro. It's really well done. But I heard it got axed. You know what I'm saying? Like even a good series gets axed. I'm like, what the? It was like their guests. I don't know if it got axed, but they're questioning bringing it in a second season.
Yeah. It's not guaranteed that it's going to get a second season.
Yeah, it's like it could be a great show that comes out, and it's like, oh damn, this is just like the comics. We love it, but the rest of the world's like, you damn nerds, this sucks. Like I love the damn show though. It's so good. Like the one where he kept going back. I didn't read the comics, so I'll let you guys know that. But I'm just watching the series, and where he kept meeting his friend over 100 years. Every 100 years they'd meet up. I was like, this is one of the best freaking episodes I've seen in my life. It's such a good episode. It means so many different things, but no matter how good it's gonna be, man, it could get axed, like Swag said, like it's a long ways from being long ways, man. I like the book. I read it. I've been reading it. I'm on like I can't find it's so hot. I can't even find like number 4. I have 1 through 3, and I'm like telling my LCS like, hey, if you have a number 4, throw it in my pool, But it's a long ways, man. And $63 for a brand new book. Go buy you a bronze, like bronze key, man. With $63, right?
Yeah.
Like, wait,
and maybe for a lot of people, 63 is not a lot of money or whatever. But it's just if you want to save $30, it'll probably go back down to like 30 in a month from now. So
right. Yeah.
And people are trying to chase that independent book, like Something's Killing the Children, man. I don't want to. I always hear that. I don't want to miss another Something's Killing the Children. I'm like, bro, but that's too much, bro, for a new book that just came out a month ago.
First it was Walking Dead, now it's Something Killing the Children. So what? All the stuff in between. We have had 2 books that have had independent wise that going crazy.
Yeah,
and still kind of stayed relatively expensive. It's only been 2, and like Swag said, it's like option. I can go through my list of stuff on my phone that I have option books. It's like you got hundreds.
Yeah.
Option stuff. When you hear pre-production, that's when your eyes need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a really good. Sure. You have a really good way of looking at spec on one of your videos. I don't know what it was, but me and Azores were talking about it. I was like, yeah, fucking Swag hit it, man. The way you kind of look at like what who that said, like you see that the actors coming together trying to make a guess on who they are and pre-production, and the directors come in. Yeah. You guys got to check out that. I don't know where it is, but it's a dope video that Swag did back in the day.
It's like even Hudat, what you're getting at. It's like, option means one thing, but like option can be years. But like, once you start to get production or like cast, like at least they're making something.
Yeah.
That's when they're spending real money. They're spending some real money. You're talking about probably some millions at that point. Option is like, oh, hey, can I let me buy it from you for $10,000? See what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
But wow, I think you can get, this is like a Stray Dogs type of book for me. I think you're gonna be able to get 90s for under $100. And, and I want to everything. I always say that I love my channel's like about movies as well. I love movies. I love TV. I want to see everything get made. And I want to see everything be good. So not saying it's not. I don't want to see it get made. I don't think it's going to be good. It's just that it takes time. So just be patient. If you really want this book, if you want to just read it, wait for the trade. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it's a good read though. I like the read, man. I got lucky. I have a good LCS, and they put it on my thing and said, "You need to read this," and I read it. It was pretty good. Is getting option in the film TV industry equivalent to getting a showcase gig as a band in the music industry? Probably, man.
Probably.
Probably, man. And then my pick, man. Talk about gimmicks. We were talking about gimmicks, and this is a slap on my head, man. This previews catalog, like, I love you, Dinesh, man. I know you, man. You're a homie, bro. But the gimmicks of Bad Idea is just kind of like out of control, man. You know, like I know me and Jaw were kind of pissed about the, you know, CGC just, you know, doing the invisible damn 9.8, man. Like, you know, I just gotta slap my head and say, nah for this one, nah for me, man. Nah. How about you guys are nah for this, man? This preview junk, $20 for the free thing you can get at your LCS. You know, like another stuff for $20. Like, I mean, I bet the shipping on this is a lot too, cause that thing shit's thick, bro. It's thick. You know, like, I mean, you're probably paying like, you know, $8, $9, $10 in shipping for this. So, I mean, what do you guys think about the Bad Idea gimmicks?
I'm going to date myself and say that's as thick as one of those old Sears Roebuck catalogs.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Sears. Yeah, I'm for real, bro. I was in that day of age when my dad used to say, okay, you get to pick your Christmas gift out of the Sears Roebuck. Remember that stuff, bro? That's where I used to get all my Star Wars shit, bro. For real, man. But what do you guys think, man? What do you guys think about the whole previews, Bad Idea gimmick that's going on? Open floor. Go ahead, man. Go who that. Oh, go ahead, Swag. Go ahead, Swag. Keep playing to you.
I mean, like, in truth, I barely know anything about this. I mean, I kind of saw a couple Instagram posts and stuff, but like, what is it? It's just like a kind of a play on what the preview magazines used to be, and there's a lot of like fake articles in this, and it's just kind of a gag. Is that what it is?
There's a comic book inside of it. There's a Bad Idea comic book inside of it. Or is that right? Is
it just very meta? Like it's like a preview of this, in theory, Bad Idea comic book kind of thing?
Yeah. That type of Bad Idea play, man.
Yeah,
you know, so
it just seems silly to me. Yeah, I mean,
it's silly, man.
I guess spend your money how you want to spend it, but I'm not going to buy this thing.
I thought Bad Idea was going out of business or something.
That's what I thought too, bro.
I don't. So I'm with you. Gimmicks. I don't know if you're going out of business. They're staying in business. It was for free. Now it's $20. No, like for the people who got this for free and trying to sell it for $20, I don't know what to say. Like you got with the fees and everything else. What are you're getting? Going to get $5? Like so it's I don't know, man. I guess if you can get a quick $1 and that's what it's going down to, get it. But I for free, I'll flip through it and look through it, but I'm not gonna pay something for free.
Man, it's just and I was a proponent. I was a pro for Bad Idea. I liked it, but now I hear a lot of shops got stuck with all their books. Because you couldn't just buy one book, right? You couldn't buy one out of the books that they were selling. You had to pay in advance for the whole thing. So a lot of shops got stuck with a lot of Bad Idea books. And if they sell you a single, they can get cut off from the Bad Idea company, So I hear a lot of shops getting stuck with a lot of Bad Idea books.
Hey man, Bad Idea to me is like the Onion is to news, right? Bad Idea to me is like satire for the comic industry. I guess it's like kind of like in a sense making fun of the comic industry,
And I mean, I think that's kind of cool in a way. Like, I mean, I definitely like that, but yeah, just as like I don't know if people are buying this for spec or what the thought process is behind buying it, or just wanting to own it. I mean, the secondary market side of it, I think, is sort of different than, I guess, what the Bad Idea just deciding to make something goofy, right? Like they're kind of two different things, I guess.
Do you guys think that Bad Idea has a cult following? Like people buy Bad Idea stuff?
It's a valiant guys that love Dinesh, man. They'll buy anything that he puts out. And Matt Kent too. They're just I like Matt and I like Dinesh too, man. But it's kind of getting out of hand, bro. In my opinion, man, the Bad Idea stuff.
Independent people too. People who are hardcore independent, like they're gonna gravitate to anything like that. So I don't know. I know I won't get it though. That's a hell no. I'm gonna say it right now.
Yeah, man. I did win the big boy book. The trade from Drunken Chat, man, but a couple years ago. I still have it. I haven't sold it, man. I like the book, man. I'm keeping it. But the whole idea of what Bad Idea is doing now, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can agree with it right now. So I have to give the big O.
Come on, now, to the now, to the now.
All right, man. It's time to learn, man. It's time to learn. You ready for this swag? You ready for the history lesson, man, from the man himself?
I'm ready to go to class. Yeah.
All right, let's go to class, bro. Let's do this.
Welcome to Comic Book Corner. I'm Dan Dilatori. Thanks for joining us this evening. One of the reasons why we love comic books is it reminds us of our childhood, but there are many other things that spark that same idea. And one is sports, in my particular case, baseball. I have the sad news to report. We lost one of the giants in the broadcasting business for baseball, the late, great Vin Scully. We lost him earlier this month. Vin Scully was someone that when you turned on, if I was lucky enough to get his broadcast, because I lived in the Bay Area, I remember my brother and I would turn the old AM radio back in the day and you get the Dodgers broadcast. And when you heard Vin Scully, you knew it was time for Dodgers baseball. Vin Scully was beyond a legend. He was probably the one of the best, if not the best baseball broadcasters in all of baseball history. He will be sorely missed. He was 94 years old. And we wish him and his family all the best. We respectfully move on to our shout out of the night. And I saw this gentleman in our chat, in chat, I hope he's still there. And it's Drew from Como Comics. Drew, I've never met the man, but we've become friends on IG. He is, I've heard him on so many shows. He is literally a walking encyclopedia of comic books. He's just a very, very pleasant man, very, very knowledgeable. Sub up to his channel, Como Comics, but more importantly, sub up to his comic store, ComoComicsBooks.com. He's got great taste in comics. This man knows his stuff, and I would definitely support him, his channel, and his online store. Let's move into a follow-up from the segment we had last episode, and that was we talked about there's no real arbiter regarding comic books. And one of the most trusted entities is Overstreet. And I just want to share something that I had found here. I don't know if, Ian, can you blow that up? That is page 686 from 2021's Overstreet Price Guide. And what it says here for Oscar Comics, a series that I've absolutely fallen in love with, it says number 26, which I have. Well, pardon me, I have two number 3s, but it says here the same as number 3, except for 26 was printed over in black ink. Number 3 on cover below the overprint. A little confusing, but let's show you the image of what I found. I actually have found one of these by accident, and it is an Oscar Comics. To the left is an actual number 3, and to the right, let's get the other picture, Ian, with the two of them. Do we send another one? Did I have another picture of that? Because what Overstreet said is that the number 26 is blacked out. You can see under the O to the one to the far right, it's very, very dark green. But in the picture that I have, which isn't coming up right now, is the abbreviation for the month of August, AUG dot. Now, Overstreet says number 26 should be there, and that's wrong. Now, what I don't understand is either Overstreet got this wrong, or there are books out there still in the wild. Now, again, this is a book from 1948, so these are very difficult to find. I personally have 3 of them. So were there books printed with 26 underneath, or were there some like the one I have that with the abbreviation for the month of August? Now, this is sort of like an amateur astronomer finding a little asteroid or something that no one else has noticed, and you let the authorities know, and you found something that no one else has seen. This is a bit of a mystery, and if anybody knows anything about this particular book, or anyone who has any reference of Golden Age, I'd love to have a conversation with this person, because it's one of those things that's bothered me. But anyway, that's what I want to show you, and we certainly need an arbiter for all things comic history related. And again, Overstreet is currently my favorite choice to fill that role. Let's move on to the DC universe. As many people have heard, about a month ago, DC, with the new CEO, his name is David Zaslav. And he made an extremely unusual and rare decision to cancel a movie that was almost completed, and that was the Batgirl movie. Batgirl would have starred Leslie Grace, and this would have been a huge role for her. Now, Zaslav did counsel the Flash movie because the actor has been having, Ezra Miller's been having nothing but personal problems. So that is somewhat understandable, but he seems to at least be taking the right steps in the right direction. I am rooting for this young man. I hope his movie does come back because he has a lot to offer. But as far as the Batgirl movie, that was a very, very different and shock to Hollywood collectively. The movie was almost over, and the decision was made from Zaslav that they don't have the budget to produce it anymore. That's another story that just came out a few days ago. But the way they're handling this is very, very unusual. They even locked out. These are the two directors, and I would butcher their names. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names. So they were locked out of their own movie. They tried to access it from their own computers. They couldn't. And so apparently the thing is that Zaslav is in on this money saving crunch for DC. Apparently they're having financial problems, and if this movie goes out, they would have to pay taxes on it. So they want to refrain from this going to the public. But I wanted to look at this from a few different perspectives. One, Zaslav inherits DC, which has a whole variety of difficulties. So we would understand that. But let's play devil's advocate. If you're in his position, and you are, let's say, or better yet, you're at the reins of Marvel, you're Kevin Feige, and you see a Marvel movie that you look at and you see is absolutely horrible. Would you go to the drastic measure of removing that movie? There are two that come to mind, actually. The Fantastic Four movie in 2015, which starred Miles Teller. He was only 28 years old, playing someone who was supposed to be at least in his mid-40s, Reed Richards. The movie was awful. The script was awful. That movie never should have seen the light of day. The other movie I would say would be, Hulk 1 was pretty bad with Ang Lee. And Iron Man 3, I wouldn't have scrapped it, but I would have completely redone the second half of that movie. But those are very drastic and rare actions to take. Zaslav, by canning the entire thing, what I would have done, because he alienated Leslie Grace, a beautiful young actress who's up and coming, because think about it from her perspective. She lands this role. The first thing she's going to do is tell all her friends, her family. She works for about a year or so to produce this movie, and at the very last minute, this gentleman says, "You know what? We're scrapping it. It doesn't meet our standards." That's beyond burning bridges. So it's sort of a wait and see approach with what he's going to do since he's taking the reins. I think he's set himself up for very, very high standards. I mean, if 2 or 3 years down the road, DC starts producing outstanding movies, then maybe we'll give some forgiveness to the way he handled or perhaps mishandled the scrapping of the Batgirl movie. But many of us were looking forward to it, myself included. So it's a wait and see. Now, I'm not rooting against DC. I never have. Many of us are waiting for them to finally gain some traction because of all the talent they simply have on their side. Now, the comic kingpins and my friend Newbie are pushing this rumor that maybe more than a rumor, and that is The Rock, who is playing Black Adam, has insisted that Henry Cavill make a cameo appearance towards the end of his movie. That would be an outstanding and exceptional idea, something that's out of the box and something that would excite the DC universe. If that's the mindset that Zaslav is having, fine, but it's still a wait and see thing with this gentleman. I think I'm going to keep him on a short leash. If it doesn't turn around in a few years, I think Hudat is right that the company should just go under, or someone should simply buy them and start over from scratch. But we will wait and see in the upcoming years. Let's move on to a organization that does have their act together, and that's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, let's talk about the She-Hulk series. And normally what I would not do would be to give spoiler alerts, but this is a long series. I think it's 9 episodes in total, and I don't want to wait almost 3 months before we finally do the review. I think we should start looking at this week by week. Let's start with the first episode. The She-Hulk character, played brilliantly by Tatiana Maslany, a beautiful actress, and she's very, very humorous with the female part of being a superhero. And one of the things that I love about this, and I'm hoping that by this portrayal and this whole series, it brings more female characters into the comic book world, because again, it's still mostly male dominated. I love this character. I think she's off to a great start with a better origin than she had in She-Hulk 1, which I'm a proud owner of. But she deals with her cousin Bruce Banner. Bruce Banner is very fearful because of the years of frustration that he had to deal with the Hulk persona. And he wants obviously nothing but the best for his cousin, who suddenly inherits this power and does his best to try and educate her. Well, what he doesn't realize was that she doesn't have the same emotional issues or psychological issues that he has, and basically zips through the little trick, test that he has for her, and basically nails it and wants to go ahead and move on. She basically crushes this whole thing, and she's so cute and adorable in the entire series. We wish her well, and I think the series got off to a great start. But episode 2 is where the action really starts here, because what happens is the She-Hulk character becomes a lawyer. She has to, in her first case with this new firm that she's working for, is to trying to defend the Abomination character. And he was played. This is Tim Roth, who reprises his role from Hulk 2. Now Roth, he's aged a bit here, but this struck me as an old collector, and especially as a Silver and Bronze Age aficionado. I think this opens the doors in many, many different ways here. And I think there is nothing but good things ahead of us, starting with this series. I think this is a great introduction to Phase 5, if that's where we're at right now, because Phase 4 of the MCU is a bit lackluster. I am curious as to why Emil Blonsky is being tutored or taken away by Wong, the current Sorcerer Supreme, played by Benedict Wong. So there's a lot of questions I'm assuming will be answered in the next episode, which airs this week here. This, by the way, the Abomination here is a far better cry than he was in the Hulk movie, Hulk 2. I think the Abomination was horrid compared to the original Abomination, drawn originally by Gil Kane in Tales to Astonish 90 and 91, which that's by far my favorite. There he is here. That's the Abomination that I remember. And I think Gil Kane remains as one of the most underappreciated artists of the day. Sal Buscema and Herb Trimpe also had a very, very liking and likeness of him when he drew that particular character. But that is a dynamite character, by far one of the most powerful villains in all of Marvel. So to bring him back in this form is something I, as a Hulk fan, have been waiting for a long, long time. We also know that the Wrecking Crew will be, look how, I mean, he literally manhandled the Hulk in that first issue. I mean, it was really eye-opening. This is, again, back in, I believe 1968. But there's so much to look forward to in this series. We've got the Wrecking Crew on the way. We've got Daredevil apparently making an appearance at some point, and who knows what sort of surprises we have. But this here with there's an old adage in Hollywood, and that is sex sells. The She-Hulk is a very sexy character. And they, again, couldn't have picked a better actress than Tatiana Maslany to portray her. Now you compare that to the Captain Marvel character, that's Brie Larson. She didn't bring that sex appeal or that sort of persona. So again, I have high hopes for this, but this series is off to a great, great start. So with that in mind, let's go to our picks of the week, Ian. And so let's start. And again, this is the Wong character tutoring the Abomination. I can't even imagine what he's doing or why he's interacting this character. I think, again, my imagination is running wild because I think they're really onto something. I think this is a direction that the MCU should stay on, because this will reactivate interest from people that may have taken a break in season 4. So I'm sorry, Ian, let's go to our picks of the week. And let's start right here with the She-Hulk theme, if we may. She-Hulk was so popular. I'm sort of seeing a dovetailing of what's going on in the MCU to what I saw in the Marvel Bronze, Silver, and Copper Age. When She-Hulk first appeared in 1979 or 1980, she started a bit rough as the Savage She-Hulk, but then she became the more sexy, attractive character, and she was all over the place. A long mainstay in the Avengers. And I bring this up here. This is, I forgot the issue here. This is later in the Avengers. Let me get my notes here. What I've got here now is my computer, so I can follow along with Ian, so I don't have to squint and look at the pictures that I gave him. Okay, this is Avengers 274. Now, this is multifaceted. 1, She-Hulk appears in this issue here. But 2, in the center of that is Hercules fighting a number of characters, including the Wrecking Crew and Tiger Shark. Now, we just came out of the Thor: Love and Thunder movie. We know Hercules is out in the MCU, and so is Hercules. this could be sort of a multiple key, if you will, with this entire story run here. That coupled with Avengers, what's that other one here? What is that, 286? The entire run, I think she was in for about 30 or 40 episodes, but I would get this run, go to 284 and then 285 when they have to deal with Zeus. I think there could be a crossover, not in this series, but this will be later on. Now, to the right is, that is Hulk 137. Now, also in this series, we see Bruce Banner being taken away out into space, which everyone knows is a prelude to World War Hulk. But that's not the first time the Hulk was in space. This Silver Age key here is Hulk 137. He's taken away. This is a Roy Thomas story. It's an homage to the Jules Verne classic story. And who appears in this? The Abomination. Now, I don't think the Abomination may appear here, but then again, with Wong taking him magically from place to place, he may show up. But it's just a great issue to have. So these are issues that are, again, they're on the dip. I'd rather get them I would suggest you get them while you can. That issue starts in 136, by the way, as he's taken away into space, and concludes in 137. Next, we have that's the Zeus issue here, because what happens during the Avengers run is that literally Hercules is beaten senseless, and Zeus, looking for his son, comes to find him. Or no, pardon me, the Avengers go to seek help from Zeus, and Zeus is outraged by what has happened. And so there's a battle with Zeus, and it's a really, really interesting dynamic between the Avengers and what happens with Zeus. Anyway, I won't spoil any more. It's certainly worth the read, and get these. I think they are going to move in price as She-Hulk continues to go, because she's not going to go anywhere. I think this is a very, very long-lasting character. Let's move on to. This is a little more of a pricey book. To the left is the first cover appearance of the Abomination. Again, drew by Gil Kane, an exceptional artist. A little more pricey, but I would get your hands on these Silver Age books sooner than later. To the right is Titania, pardon me, teams up. I guess they have a relationship with the Absorbing Man, one of my favorite villains. And this is a recovering Zeus in a hospital bed. These Secret Wars spillovers, I think, are going to be expanded in the She-Hulk series, and this is another one that's extremely reasonable to get. And I would begin the hunt with this right away. The next episodes we have, or next issues we have rather, are these. This is two early appearances of the Savage She-Hulk. She appears in Marvel 2-in-1 88, and that is Marvel Team Up 107. Those are great fun issues, especially when She-Hulk teams up with the Thing. The Thing, they call him the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing for a reason. He's a gentle giant, and he's very much a gentleman when it comes to ladies. And I think She-Hulk is a little more than flirtatious with him, and Bashful Benjamin, doesn't know how to handle it. It's always a fun story. And with that red cover, by the way, a little difficult. Actually, the black cover too to the team up, they're difficult to get in high grade. If I found a 9.8, I'd grab one immediately. Next, we have more Hulk stories here. Now, since they're bringing back the Hulk, which is something I, again, as a Hulk fan, have been waiting for the longest time in, I would get your hands on some of these older Hulks. That to the right is obviously the first appearance of the Abomination. That's Tales to Astonish number 90. But one character that I think is not that far behind is Doc Samson, and that's his first appearance in Incredible Hulk 141. Not that expensive of a book, and I think it's we could have had that as a freezer book, because again, the Hulk has been dormant, and all the Hulk personas, villains, and associates that he had have been dormant. But now that I think the MCU is finally working out some deal with the Hulk, all the storyline will be coming back. And I guess I should have threw in the first appearance of the Leader. That would be the logical choice as the Hulk's arch enemy. Everyone, in the next episode, I think we're going to continue on this, because again, the She-Hulk story is something that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is spot on with, and whatever else comes up, because we're not that far from the next announcements from Kevin Feige and company. I think they're finally on the right track. We suffered through Phase 4, which wasn't a bad phase, but again, I think they're pausing and gearing up for some very, very big and important things. And these come out, we'll talk talk about them as they appear. Before I let you go, in the next episode, we will have my very good friend Phil Cowan, who's just beginning comic book collecting, and we can get his very interesting take on what someone who's just now putting his toe into the water, what he thinks and feels about the MCU, comic collecting in general, and to get a perspective on someone that is just beginning the hobby. Everyone, thanks for joining. For the Ian Hoodrat Network, I'm Dan De La Torre, and this is Comic Book Corner.
All right, Dan.
Thank you, sir.
And Dan, you're gonna bring us into Downer Clown, right? You're gonna bring us in, man?
Yes, I am.
Let's hit this, man. Let's hit Downer Clown because this is interesting, man. So because I didn't have a subject, but Dan and Hudat did, man. And I want to. It's gonna be good.
Well, I guess the Down and Clown segment focuses around the DC universe, and in particular, the gentleman I referred to as the new CEO, David Zaslav. With his actions, it seems very totalitarian regarding locking his own directors out of their own movie and not even giving that movie the light of day. I mean, now I probably speak for everyone. I'm extremely curious to see what that movie was. I want to see it. I would pay money for it. I think they could turn that around and bring that forward publicly and make some money at this simply because of the controversy and the free publicity by this action. I think it's a huge mistake to they were talking about there's a phrase for it where they want to destroy a movie forever and it will never see the light of day. I think that would burn bridges not just of the actress Leslie Grace, but of the people rooting for DC and waiting for them to get their act together.
So Huda, you said they did it so they can write it off on taxes. Is that the reason they're doing?
Well, no, I think a lot of people reported that they're going to be writing it off on taxes. They're not going to save that much on taxes compared to what the costs. But you know, it got said, it got leaked, and it was terrible. You know, but one thing did happen with David Zaslav did offer the young lady who played Batgirl. He did offer her Batgirl role for the future. She obviously turned it down because she put her blood, sweat, and tears in the current movie, and how it all went down. She didn't think it was right to take that role after you already canceled the thing I worked really hard on. DC, I would say Discovery, a lot of things that they're doing that some people are reporting on it, some people are not. And they're trying to keep it on the hush hush, but they're trying to sell off an animated series that they already done to competitors to get some money from that. And it's sad because when you think of DC, or if you go to a lot of people who don't know a lot about superheroes, if you say Batman, if you say Superman, they know who those characters are. Sometimes they might not know Wonder Woman, but they I would say more times they would know the Trinity. Spider-Man, Wonder Woman as far as knowledge, people know the characters. But people know Batman and Superman, and it feels like they don't know what to do with these characters. It's like they don't know what to do with God-like characters. That's what I feel like. They don't know what to do with those type of characters and how to translate them to let regular humans understand them. Like Marvel has more humans trying to be gods, but DC has gods trying to be humans more so in their comics. But I don't know. I'm very disappointed in Discovery, but I understand it. And I hope they're getting their ducks in a row because they said they're going to follow a 10-year plan. That's what they said their ultimate goal is.
Well, I think the New York Post nailed it when they said that Leslie Grace was humiliated, was their word. I don't think you can take it any other way, because again, you put so much work into this. You've made all these promises to your friends and family, and then the movie's pulled, and then Zaslav is interviewed saying that the movie didn't meet our standards. How can you not take that personally? So I think I think secretly she's probably very frustrated and angry. Who wouldn't be? I think there was a far better way to handle this. That what they could have done was said, hey, you know what? We're going to do our best to sort of clean this up. We're going to produce it. But they could say, this is the end of this phase here. We're now going to another phase. Sort of what Marvel's doing with each phase for 4, 5, 6, and so forth. This could have been easily handled much better than it did, rather than badly burned bridges I don't think will be healed again.
Yeah.
Is this pretty common, Swag, man, for like a company to buy something and write it off, or in Hollywood?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there are those for sure. There's a lot of I think it starts with the financial side of things. I think that is going to inform a lot of sort of top-down decision making. I have some like insider things that I've heard. Again, could be all hearsay, which I probably can't say now, but maybe after the show we could talk about it if you guys want to hear. But I do think that a lot of the stuff is like the financial side of things is a little more dire for what Warner Brothers, the situation that they're in, and so they're having to make a lot of tough decisions. And Discovery, they as far as their content stuff is concerned, they do a lot of these kind of documentaries and reality stuff, and they make really, really high profits on the content pieces they make. And I think when you have Discovery coming in and looking like at all the balance sheets and stuff and seeing like, oh, you spend this much money only to make this much money. Like, when they do all the calculus, they're just like, this doesn't seem worth it to us. So they're a little more cut and dry about what they think that they should be spending money on. And especially if they're in kind of dire straits, in the financial side of things, I think that they just, took the hatchet to the operation, and they just said, starting from now on, this is the way it's going to be, and I think that's kind of, we're kind of feeling that, from the fan side of things, but for them, it's really just new ownership coming in and, Hell's Kitchen, this place.
Do you, what type of effect do you guys think this is going to have on comics? Is this going to trickle down to DC Comics? Are we looking at, I don't know, the death of DC or the rebirth of DC? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, we even got The Rock coming. We got the Black Adam movie coming, and I'm excited for it, man. But I mean, is this the death or the rebirth of DC? I don't know what it is, man. Like, this is always bad news for DC, bro. It's like it's like a con variant, bro. It's always a bad news, So
I hope not. I mean, I've seen some people kind of throwing out like, oh, like Marvel should buy them and stuff. And I honestly, I think that would be the worst thing to ever happen if that actually did happen. I know you guys, some of you might be wrestling fans, but if you remember when WWF bought WCW, that was not a good result for wrestling. So yeah, I don't know. I hope this gets sorted for them.
Yeah, I don't want Disney to touch DC. Because I like having, oh man, Iron Man's coming out. Oh, Batman's coming out a month later. If Disney buys that, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
And plus, I like the way DC kind of runs their movies, and it's more like adult driven. It's darker. We have the Marvel shows, right? The Marvel movies, and there's this like hop skip to it. Like this hop skip kid type of childish hop skip. Like it's still. It's charmed us to our childhood, but DC brings it dark, like all the Batman movies, the great Batman movies, that came out. And, even Black Adam looks kind of dark, like, and we need that balance,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you a company I would love to buy, DC, but this is going to give the answer away. They have to sell off Spider-Man.
So
I would love Sony to give DC, but it gives them a bigger catalog of characters to do, and then just give Marvel Spider-Man and their catalog back, because they can make $1 billion or maybe $2 or $3 billion just selling Spider-Man and getting and trying to revert that to get DC, because or get some of the characters from DC, let Discovery sell off certain characters. Like, hey, give me Batman. Hey, give me Wonder Woman. Give me certain things. like Marvel was doing when they were going bankrupt, selling all pieces. I would love Sony to do that because, and just get rid of Spider-Man, because, it makes more sense to have that Spider-Man kind of playing in Venom.
Send him home. Send him home.
Yeah. Let's send that all and let it go over there. You take over DC, and let's go from there, because obviously Discovery and Warner Bros. Has no idea what they do.
We thought Discovery did, but I guess they don't, right? What's up, Ja?
No. So I was gonna say that it's just like kind of a classic example of a company buying up a big company, and maybe bit off more than they could chew. It's just not DC. At Discovery, they have HBO, they have they have entities that are TNT, right? I mean, TBS, all these different entities that they have to like really take a look at, and some of them are not as profitable. And so I think at the end of the day, I personally think that we're going to see a lot of consolidation over the next 5 years, and I think one of those consolidations will be, it could be DC. I think they're banking a lot of their money on Black Adam, and I think they're just going to do a lot of one-offs. And I think they're really late to the game. The way Marvel has built an enterprise of their characters, eventually you're going to see people just getting tired of superhero stuff. They want to see something different. And if you're that late in the game and you start your own series, what are you going to bring? You're going to bring Darkseid. What are you going to bring your villains? Lex Luthor. Who are you going to bring? Like, it's just going to be like kind of a copy of Marvel at that point. And I just don't think it's going to work. So, it's just not Discovery that's hurting right now. There's, I think Paramount's hurting. I think there's a number of companies that are hurting right now. So we could see consolidation, especially with all these different channels we all have to pay for. I know I don't subscribe to all of them.
Oh no, man! The streaming wars is for sure. There's too many streamers going on right now, man. It has to consolidate.
It's going to break down to like about 5 major streamers, I think.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're going to have Netflix, you're going to have Disney. Discovery keeps HBO, as we HBO Max, but it's very curious. I'm just curious to see how they all. I got a feeling that if Black Adam doesn't break $1 billion, they're gonna be
in trouble.
In trouble. And the reason why I say that is, and I could be wrong, I remember in the Rock advertising on his social media, they went in for major reshoots for that movie. They basically reshot more than half of that movie when it was already done. So that had me nervous, and then so that's why I'm like, if that movie doesn't make $1 billion because they're banking on The Rock. I think all that pushback they did with Shazam, and I forgot what the other movie they pushed back. It might get pushed back even further.
Well, Marvel has its own problems, as I mentioned. Iron Man 3, the first half was absolutely brilliant with Ben Kingsley as a ruthless Mandarin, a main character, main villain in Marvel, and then it wasn't. Why am I drawing a blank again on his name? Jon Favreau. He directed the first 2 Iron Man movies, and somebody else took over the third one. And this guy just made a huge mistake by getting rid of the Mandarin. And they tried to clean it up in the Shang-Chi movie. I don't think they did. I think that was still left open. I think there still should be someone like the Mandarin. So again, Marvel's not invincible to making mistakes, but DC seems to be making mostly mistakes. A few successes along the way, but you can't live on a few successes. It's like you being a baseball player and you're expected to hit at least 250, and if you're hitting $110, they're not going to re-sign you to the next season.
Yeah,
I think one of the biggest red flags to me, at least, was when they sold off Crunchyroll. I think that was either before or after they took on the whole thing. And anybody knows, Crunchyroll's a big anime library, right? Of anime shows. Anime is huge. It's bigger than comics, I believe. It's the future, definitely. So I think just not having the foresight of even thinking about what's to come in the future and what you want to keep is a big mistake. And so I think it's one, like Dan just said, it's one mistake after another.
Yeah, and then like you said, for anime, 2 weeks ago, the #1 movie in the U.S. was an anime movie.
Was
It was
it
Dragon
that
Ball.
Dragon Ball, right?
Yeah,
Dragon
so,
Ball.
yeah.
Right.
And
Hey,
I mean,
just-
go ahead, Swag.
No, it's really quick about Manny's comment,
I
which
know, I
is really
see
funny.
that.
It's like,
Yeah,
you know,
shit, funny, bro.
like I gotta be honest, like if DC wants $1 billion movie, I mean, a tell-all documentary about the shit show behind the scenes of everything that's gone on would absolutely, sell for $1 billion. Like everybody would want to watch that.
Yeah.
So
I'd watch that.
not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
I know. I think everybody forgets, man, that prior to Feige, man, like DC movies were it, bro. Like the Batman movies.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Bro, when I was a kid, Michael Keaton, that whole run, I remember watching that movie in the theater when I think it was one of the first movies I ever seen without my parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was in Kona in Big Island, and my mom let me go and my brother, and I was like, dude, this is the baddest thing ever, bro. Like, watching that, and then the Dark Knight stuff, man, that was big. That stuff with that whole series was epic. What
Well,
happened?
I'm curious what happened because Christopher Nolan was actually one of the producers on the first Superman movie, and I think he was supposed to sort of be maybe not a Kevin Feige, but he was definitely supposed to be kind of a creative overseer of the whole DC expansion.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, his contract with his movies. If anybody knows Christopher Nolan, Warner Brothers couldn't tell him what to do, change anything. He had that in his contract, and that's why his movies were great. They couldn't touch his movies.
Yeah, they should have just let him do whatever.
Yeah, and that has a I hate to say it, DC or Warner Brothers who has a problem with doing that, and it goes all the way back to the Michael Keaton, like you said. Michael Keaton didn't do the third movie because they didn't want to let I forgot the director who did the first two.
Tim Burton.
Yeah, Tim Burton. He's like, no, we're gonna get somebody else. So Michael Keaton said, well, then I'm not gonna do the third one. So that's why we didn't get a third one with Michael Keaton. That's why we got what we got.
Right.
Because they wanted to overstep their boundaries, and same thing they've done with other stuff. But Christopher Nolan had that clout, and they couldn't do nothing about it. And I'm happy he did because we got some good movies from it.
Well, Disney also purchased Star Wars, and I just came back from the San Jose Comic Con this past weekend with my kids, and lots of Star Wars people there, and I talked to as many as I could, and I asked them the same question. What do you think of the latest Star Wars run across the board, whether it's comics or what Disney's doing? And literally, it was a unanimous answer. It's okay. And again, these are diehard Star Wars people who there's nothing exciting about it. Because I would ask them, well, what's missing? Because I explained this on my show about Star Trek. I knew what's missing with J.J. Abrams. He's not a Star Trek guy. He has no idea about that franchise, and he has no idea what to do with it. I don't think there's people at Disney right now that understand what they bought. They just bought Star Wars because it was Star Wars, figuring they just put anything out there, and that's basically what they did. Now, the only thing that they have is Disney has deep pockets. Apparently, DC and Warner Brothers don't have deep pockets. If they did, they don't anymore. But there's no out-of-the-box thinking. There's no creativity. They're just it's really sad to see this company go downhill like it is. You're rooting for it to breathe. Someone's going to breathe some life into it, and there's no one there to revive it, and you're just watching it die a slow death.
Does it all come down to this, guys? Because Efren had a point. Does it all come down to this? And I'm gonna, Swag, you're in the industry, man. Is it? It's a business to these companies. It seems like they are actually no readers of comic books. That being said, they understand the characters. This is how to use their rich history the right way. I mean, is it all dollars and cents, man? Is it just dollars? It's dollars and cents to once it gets to these big companies, right? I mean,
oh yeah, 100%.
It's like if we can make it a comic book way, but if it ain't gonna make no money, then we're just gonna do it our way, and we're gonna kind of make it a generic. We're gonna make a generic Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I hope it's Black Adam, like it's a hit, so we can actually see something come of it. But if it doesn't, oh, bro, I don't think we're gonna see a DC movie for a while. I mean.
I was going to say one thing they make really good is the animation, right? DC animation, all the Batman adventures and all that. It's like I mean, who doesn't love that stuff? But who that was just saying they're thinking about selling that. Like,
it's a series. I think it's Batman the Cape Crusader, and I could have the wrong series, but that they're shopping that anime. Not anime, that cartoon that I think it's a series. They're shopping it to sell it, and they're shopping it even to competitors, meaning they're shopping it to Disney Plus as well, which is makes you scratch your head because you like, wait, this is be perfect for HBO Max. So that's why it's like I'm kind of worried about the company in whole. You know, I want them to do well, and I want to enjoy all these movies and stuff. But like he said, it's like he said about somebody who reads. Kevin Feige reads comics. If anybody knows, like, if somebody does some research on Kevin Feige, he reads comics, and it's easy to find out what comics he reads the most because what characters he's trying to push out now are Bronze Age characters. He loves the Bronze Age. That's why you're getting Moon Knight, She-Hulk. You know, you're gonna be getting probably a lot of other characters. You know, you're getting Blade. You know, so they need something like that. Somebody who has a little knowledge and that reading side of the history, also the business side. You know, they need that good mix.
If you look at the end credits of these Marvel movies, you see that they have incorporated Steve Englehart, Roy Thomas, all the people from the Silver and Bronze Age that are still alive today to help guide them through the storyline. Because again, they knew exactly what to do. I don't know if DC is doing that. I don't know who is, if there is anyone who has any understanding of the DC universe. I kind of doubt it. I think they're just throwing something at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, I would just say I think from what I've seen that's successful, whether it's like, obviously it all comes down to money, and that's all fine. And you can view it as purely that business thing, if you're, a producer or, some kind of creative or whatever. But to me, I think it's like this. I don't think you have to be a comic book reader or like a historian, like a comic historian. Like you don't have to know every detail to like make these films. But I think you have to have a lot of respect for the characters and the property. And I think if you have that, then I think that's going to yield like the best results. And I think it doesn't feel like DC, the people who are working there, the producers, the people who are making this stuff have as much admiration for the property that they have, and they don't value it as much as they probably should because the IP itself is almost priceless.
Well, Mickey, all the comics on your back wall have something in common with the MCU movies and shows that we're seeing. Quality. Great quality across the board in large measure. Again, that's the main element that DC is missing. There's not much quality in what they're producing. Yeah, and I say that because Zaslav did say, to his credit, he's looking for more of a quality product. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to get that organization on that track. If he does that, he will have some success, but he's got a rough road ahead of him.
I mean, you got to start all over again. I mean, you guys have the patience. You have the 3Ps for that.
Yeah, the 3Ps for DC.
I mean, I think we touched on it too. Like they don't have any marketing budget. That's the leak now. They don't have any money to market anything.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you said that.
Yeah. Like they've run out of money for marketing. Like so, and anybody who knows The Rock, I just want to throw it out. Anybody who knows The Rock, he gets paid $1 million every time he advertises on his social media. Every time. Yeah, so yeah, that's just to advertise his movie. So I haven't seen him. I saw him advertise Black Adam, like maybe like over the weekend, but he's not advertising as much as he usually normally.
The Rock better push it, man, because his career is kind of riding on this Black Adam thing too.
He has a good relationship with Disney. He's not worried.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he's waiting for the Kevin Feige phone call, to be honest.
But I think if it was anyone's decision, it was The Rock's decision to bring Cavill in, if that does happen. Because again, if he's going to put his name out there, he wants it successful. He doesn't want to be part of a movie that dies off very, very quickly. Because again, he's built his entertainment empire from the ground up, and he strikes me as a very, very smart man. I don't think that idea came from DC. I think it came from him.
I mean, I went to Universal Studio like a couple weeks ago. I haven't read the trolley. You know the trolley there, right? I guess when you ride by it, he owns like a whole set of buildings there that's just his. The Rock on the Warner Brother lot. So, I mean, he's sticking with Warner Brothers, man. He's really invested in it. But I hope he does well, man. But I'm gonna go back to Hyper, man. Hyper goes, he doesn't buy the tax stuff. You know, he doesn't see it as the shareholders buying it. And he says the tax savings won't compensate the loss taken for the entire Batgirl project as a whole. And then Manny's back here, and let's see what Manny got. Man, DC trying really hard to ruin his brand. Having you seen the cover celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month? Freaking Green Lantern holding a plastic bag full of tamales. Really? Is that for reals, bro? I don't even know, man.
Oh, wow.
That's bad, bro. That's bad, man. That's bad, man. Hey, guys. I don't know, man. But good luck to DC, man. I mean, let me ask you guys one last question. With all this crazy stuff happening with DC and, the films and, DC property, are you guys going to buy some DC keys or what, man? Is it a good time to buy DC keys?
Yeah, I have.
Even though it's a good time to buy DC keys, would you buy a DC keys right now?
I did start. I did get a what was it? DC Presents 26. It was very affordable. The first new Teen Titans. I think it's still a great book to get. And at the con I saw, there was a 2.0 of the first Supergirl, and they wanted $1,200, which was, I think, pretty reasonable for that. I could have got them down if I was interested and had the money for it. But yeah, if I had the money, I would do it, because the ultimate graph for me on the DC side is the what is that? The first Red Flash, in 1956. I forget whatever that issue is. Showcase 4. Showcase 4 is what I would get. But yeah, if I had the money, I would do it, just to say I have them.
Mm-hmm.
I'd only buy 2 titles, Detective and Batman, and those would be Golden Age. That's what I have. I have a few of those, and that's what I'd invest in.
I got that the brand new Detective 27, the reprint. If it's still in your LCS, grab it. It's fun to have.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I like DC, but I didn't grow up loving and reading DC, so it's I don't have the same nostalgia for it. But I think this is probably a great time because in our lifetimes, 50 years from now, I still believe that we're still going to be making Superman and Spider-Man movies. So at some point in our lifetime, DC's going to get it right. So if you believe in this, you might as well get some of those keys and stuff. And but I'm with Ja. I mean, the real DC keys I would want to get are the Golden Age ones, and those are really pricey.
And you know when a company is doing it wrong, when they don't even showcase their major property, which is Superman. I haven't heard nothing about Superman until this week with him showing up in Black Adam. I'm that's how bad people are running when you're not showcasing the person that we all know of out of all the comic book heroes, Superman, right? Superman, everybody knows Superman. He
doesn't translate into today's world, in my opinion, man. That's I hate to say it, Superman's a first superhero, right? So I mean, you put on glasses now, you take glasses off. That's Ja. Put glasses back on. That's Ja. It's not.
Oh, he's got to put a wig on, bro. You put a wig and then you
wig on. Yeah.
Well, the problem is, they don't have 3 people playing Superman right now. Batman, we can have 3 different Batmans. We can have 3 different Jokers, and we can all have that coming out at the same time. That's probably the major problem. We don't only have one person playing Superman right now.
But there has to be someone in Hollywood that could utilize Superman. It's such a big property, man. We could have a Henry Cavill Superman. We could have a black Superman. We can maybe even have a Latino Superman. I don't know, man. I mean, look at me. I should be running Superman right now, bro. They
can take the animated side of Superman. They have a lot of good animated movies that they've done with Superman, and they could do the same thing for live action.
Bro, we could do a multiverse Superman, bro. Where we just have 5 different Supermen from 5 different universes.
Who does he fight at the end of the day?
Each other, bro. That's what I just throw them at each other, bro. We just have Remember Superman 2? Remember Superman 2 when he had his 3 cousins? I forgot what their name. I call them the 3 cousins. And they were remember the old school with Christopher Reeves? Bro, when he gets his 3 cousins, bro, that shit was dope. Yeah. That shit was dope, bro. I was like, damn. Superman's getting his, he's going against his match. They have the same power as him, but Superman was just the best of us to kick all their ass.
Just have him do space adventures. You don't have to keep him on Earth. Just
come on, man.
Send him off and...
let's just buy a Superman like property right here. But look at all the good fucking. They should be watching this right now, bro. Like we're coming with this dope ass Superman stories here, bro. Like damn, man. Like,
Ian, I'm laughing because as an Hispanic, I can't imagine an Hispanic Superman. I'm sorry, that doesn't go there with me. He'd be the first to lose if there was a battle.
They should be, expanding their B and C characters and putting them on shows on HBO Max, right? Martian Manhunter. Well, that'd be a great show, right?
Yeah.
You got some guy from Mars coming down and living, you know, on Earth and you know, making their way on Earth, and a superhero on the side or something like that. You know, like build those characters up. You don't have to go with the main number one. You can go down to the other ones and build those up, but do it right. You know?
I mean, come on, man. The Christopher Reeve stuff, bro. When we were kids, we all knew the glasses on. We all knew that was bullshit, but we still loved that shit anyway, bro. Like it was. I loved Superman, bro. When I was a kid, watching that stuff, bro. Man. When you brought back Lois, bro, come on, you wanted to bring back your dog, bro. You're like, if he can bring back Lois, bro, he can bring back my dog, bro. Like just spin around fast.
All I gotta do is Injustice Gods Among Us.
Yeah, there we go.
See, John and I are old enough to remember George Reeves. All right, he was when he was the Superman when we were kids.
I don't know about
old.
Kids, I ain't that old, damn it.
he left you in the dust, Dad. No, bro. Don't play with you guys, man. But thank you guys for being on, Swag, man. You know, I always appreciate you, man, and I always appreciate what you bring to YouTube. Your show is one of the best, man. And
thanks, man.
And I just want to tell you, like, you know, we've met a lot of people, me and Ja. We've met a lot of people that on and off camera. And dude, you are the nicest, man. You are 100%. The person on the screen and off the screen representing, bro. Like there's no one guy and the other guy, bro. Like you're a down dude, man. A really, really humble person.
What
man.
you see on screen right here or on your channel, and the way you smile and talk, that's right. When I see you at a con, it's the same person, man. Smile and you talk with respect. It's not like you know, like you look down on anybody. You are Mickey when I see you. So
you're a class act. Yes. You're a class act.
Well, geez, yeah, man. Thanks, you guys. It's nice to get compliments and stuff. But yeah, I know, I appreciate it. I mean, you know, look, I'm honored and I'm humbled. I'm super glad to join the show because, you know, for me, it's fun. The channel has kind of become its own thing, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. But you know, getting to connect with people and talk comics and stuff, that's really what it's all about for me, and I still have a lot of fun doing it, and you know, brings me a lot of joy. So that's why I'm, you know, happy to be here, happy to talk comics, happy to see people at cons.
No, man, we appreciate you, bro, and that's where you can find Swag, man. You know, like you can find him, but you got to try to still find us, though. You know what I'm saying? But Swag, man, he's the man, bro. I gotta give you full props, man, and respect, bro.
Thanks,
man. And then here we go, Dan. Where can they find you, bro?
Well, I'd be honored if Swaggle House would come back again at some point. Lots of things to talk about. So.
Please, yeah.
Oh, of course, this is my home here. Find me on Instagram. You can find me usually getting my backside kick on the hunt on every other Friday. What else am I doing? Oh, I'm sort of semi-regular on Spine Ticks. That's something else I've been doing. That's a lot of fun for me on Saturday night. So, but again, you'll find me back here in 2 weeks.
Always, Dan. Always, Dan. I appreciate you and all the hard work you bring and all the knowledge, man. Always appreciate it. And then we got the man you can find in 3 different places at once, bro, like the multiverse of Hudax. Yeah.
Oh my God! But like Dan said, you see us on the hunt. Not this week, but next week. So it's like every other week. I do an auction on my channel when I feel like it, but I am doing one this week on Saturday since it's a Labor Day weekend. So I'm gonna be doing that, and I'm gonna do some more unboxings. I have a little collection coming in. So if someone wants to check out the little collection I bought and some new purchases, be ready for that video this week. But yeah, man, I do appreciate it. You're gonna catch myself on here as well. So, man, sub everybody up, man. Show everybody some love. You know, that's all I can say.
Hey man, and I hope my $2.99 wins me with that slab, bro. He's like,
hey, you know, funny thing is, somebody has won one time with just one entry. So when I laugh now when people do it because like I've had people win. like that.
I know, bro. I'm like, I'm waiting for the DM. Like, you want something, Hood? You know. So, no, where could they find you two, Ja?
Just on IG, Comic Book Crackhead, and of course, the only channel that I'm ever asked to come on is this one. So I love being here, and every other Monday with my man Hoodrat.
Yeah, man. I love you too, man. For real, bro. And then we got our boy Mindshift, man. Real life calls. Real life calls, and you got to take care of your business, man. And Kirk got a great job now. We're really proud and happy for him. But he'll be back, man. Kirk will be back. And one last shout out, man. So come and check out my show. Craig's gonna jump on with me on my next show, and we're gonna look at like some of the comic books that we've been seeing, like all just based on stats, man. Between August 29th and September 4th, and it kind of it goes with this show. When we're off with this show, then that show goes on. So it kind of goes every other week. So come by and check that out, man. But Mickey, we appreciate you, man. And before we go, I'm gonna see what we have a lot of stuff here in the chat, man. So Tyrone, my bad, Tyrone. Always looking for those Batman Rogue galleries. And then we see Supercell. Then John Stewart, Cyborg, Mr. Terrific, etc. for me with those keys, those DC keys. Nubia. And then here we go, Left Throats, man. Superman has some awesome villains. Bizarro, Mr.
Mixoplex, yeah.
Mixoplex, I can't, man. Mixoplex. I speak English, sorry. Mixoplex, Brainiac, Lex Luthor, Parasite, and Zod. Yeah, Zod was in that one movie, huh? The Henry Cavill
first
movie,
one,
right?
yeah.
That was good, man. I don't know why I really like that one, bro. I like the first one, man. Yeah. You could definitely make some cool movies with that Rogue gallery.
Yeah.
Hyper says, when I switched from glasses to contacts, someone at office had trouble identifying me who I was. DC deceived me, man. And a lot of good shout outs to Swag as well, man. And thank you, Nowhere, for coming through, man. But I appreciate y'all for coming and hanging out with us here at the Hoodrat channel, man. And we'll be back, man. We'll be back in 2 weeks for your comic book pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to have Dan, your guy on, right?
Phil Cowan will be here.
Phil Cowan. He'll be on, man. He'll be on with us. And that's going to be interesting, man. You've talked about him so many times. I'm really looking forward to meet him now,
He's a great broadcaster, and he has this pulse on things. So you'll see. It'll be a great interview when we have him.
All right, man. Swag, any last wisdom, thoughts and wisdoms or advice for us, man?
No, nothing. Thanks again for having me on the show, and hope to do it again sometime.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. And thank y'all, man. We out.